nice of me talking up.
And welcome to Session Weed Zero. We are going to be going through a bunch of things now that Act 1 is complete. There will probably be a role play, but there will be a lot of administrative things happening this time, including getting some expectations, critique, so on and so forth, and getting everything set for the next act. With that being said, I got everybody here physically. Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Wizard, for demanding that this be streamed. So I'm a sucker for pleasing the masses. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get started. Go ahead and throw the cameras onto the players for the most part.
Oh no.
I need to figure out this because the most completely blocked by the.
Does this look like a page for television?
Yeah,
This one.
no hiding for you. All right. So, with that being said, if you can speak to the right image, that's thank you. And you stop playing on your phone before I throw my shoe at you. I'm getting a profile picture for. That's fine. So, yes, fear the flip flop.
No,
That's
we'll
the
do it.
thing. Chocolate.
We'll do it.
Yes, I will.
Don't catch it.
I doubt it. You do not have these three questions. Moving on. All right, the Tantra. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We are going to start with the broader topics first that pertain to everyone, and then get into individual people and what they want, and so on and so forth. So my first topic is experience. Do you guys like the fact that we are earning experience as we go, or do you prefer the milestone?
I can actually keep care less about it.
Okay.
I'm fine with you.
The only thought I
Experience.
had is
You like experience as we go?
the only thought I had with milestone is that you wouldn't have to calculate everything.
It does reduce the math. How about you?
I honestly do like the fact that you're taking into account with our actions. I do like the counting as we go. Mostly because we're not just counting monster kills.
Yeah.
You're actually going for acts of valor, acts of courage. Whether you're showing off or whether you're doing something to help further the story, you're allowing that to actually be considered experience.
Okay.
So I'm okay with
So
that.
we have 2 votes for experience and 1 for milestone.
Well, mine was just an idea. If
I need to know your vote.
I'm either or.
Okay, so we have 2 either or.
I'm good with the experience. I like the one-off situations where somebody just randomly does something out of control. They should be very.
We get more XP overall.
Okay.
You have my vote already. For milestone, that's just something I always have preferred because for XP, yeah, you're calculating it all out, and it's going to be less math if we use milestone. But it also offers you as a milestone, you can offer up other rewards other than experience to the players if they've done something glorious, amazing, or something extremely in character.
Yep, like the DM dice that I
Stuff
offer
like-
up once in a while.
Yeah, stuff like that. It allows you to go outside just, oh yeah, you get extra XP for doing this glorious.
Okay. Similar?
I am
Um,
ignorant.
She doesn't know. Experience is typical experience like you would know from any game.
Okay.
Milestone means you have to meet a certain point, and that's when you level up.
Yeah, it's usually a story beat or a story point that the DM has designated as
Milestone.
this will be
You
hit.
prefer milestone. Okay. So my understanding is we have 2 milestone, 3 experience, and 2 I don't care.
No, 3 milestone. These 3. Or no, your XP?
He was
He's
XP.
His XP.
So with that, it seems like it will be democratic. See, anyway, it sounds like we're going to continue with experience.
I honestly like Julian's idea though.
I do too, and I will try to incorporate that in regardless.
For like you said, for other stuff besides just like levels.
Yeah.
Maybe levels we'd keep the experience, but you can have milestones of like, hey, you did really good. So
I feel like my only problem with milestones is like you're missing out. You might be missing out if you get from like small battles or surprise battles.
It lessens the incentive to explore the world, which yes, maybe caustic to your mind, but it helps craft depth. It helps give the story more shade, more
Yeah.
hooks. At one NPC today may be tomorrow's enemy, or someone, or an important NPC down the line, and we might not have actually got to meet them without exploring.
Sure. Okay, the next topic of discussion. Combat. Too much, too little, just right. Any changes that you would like to see? We'll start on the left with Cole and work our way around.
I would like not to start, please.
Don't be afraid.
I personally,
I'm
don't
going
know.
to always be starting with you. I move from left to right.
No, I don't know. I haven't really thought about any of the questions. Like, I
Okay.
did just. I'm trying
For the
to.
amount of combat involved in roleplay in D&D throughout the session, do you feel like it's too much, too little, just right, or do you not have an opinion?
I wanted to hear everyone else's opinion before mine.
That doesn't. No, that isn't how an opinion works. That's
I know. I want. Because I'm not going to be able to do these other ones.
Yeah.
Not that for starting off. I can
Fine.
probably do these
Fine,
ones, but
fine. You and the other child can be last.
Ace is probably better, more prepared than.
Then we will start from the right and work left against my military nature.
That's the major. Against your will.
I don't think too long. So,
Think too much combat?
yeah, too much. The problem is even though we do have a system, it is still way too long and it can be boring and grueling and annoying when it's so long.
I do get that. Part of that,
Amount of people.
well, not just that, but certain people being prepared for their turns with what they're going to do instead of going, oh, it's my turn, let me think. You have to be thinking on other people's turns.
instead
That
of
is
being
a big part of that. You guys notice that? What did you guys think of the way that I started to run combat towards the end, where there's no crosstalk during combat, which does help smooth things out,
Right.
and you get 1 minute at the top of a round?
I like
It
it.
seems to work.
'Cause that was me trying to speed things up.
But I'm going to say right now, as we get higher level, we're going to get way more actions, way more stuff going on. There's going to be a lot more going on, a lot more dice rolling and stuff like that. So combat's also going to get longer because that's just the way high level games eventually go. Because fighters get insane number of attacks, and it's like it's going to be a long combat either way. So it's going to. So maybe I'm also like we definitely, of course, we always like to go blow shit up. Let's be honest. So I shit up.
Yeah.
So do you think it's just right? Too
Well,
much?
I think there's a little too much. That's all.
Okay, so that's 2. What do you think?
I do see the difficulty in trying to balance this all between keeping the spellcaster, just nuking all the enemies, having enough enemies for all of us to actually engage. The fighters and the barbarian here only being able to slash and hack, and God help us if we don't roll well enough. It does become a bit of a cycle, and it could be one of the reasons why it does go a little bit longer. Mostly because we're trying to anticipate everyone having actions, everyone having a turn, everyone getting a chance in the spotlight to fight, to show up what we can do. I understand why it was one of the reasons why I started hanging back during the middle of that last combat. Me trying to dash out to the nearest enemy, the last enemy, wasn't going to do much for anybody. It was only going to put me in danger, put us in a bigger risk. We all plan go for the A. If there are times when we feel like in combat we aren't going to be able to be an effective fighter, support is nothing to be rounding on. So I personally want to say it's just right. It's just we need to balance it a little bit better.
Okay.
Discussions amongst us can still work, and even I, as a barbarian, can still provide support. I'll try to at least draw most of the danger, I'll try to at least give you guys flanking, even if I'm not rolling properly. If my days I'm rolling 5 critical ones in a row, like God help me. But that does not mean I still can at least provide tactical advantage, can at least provide distractions. I can still try to do some of that.
Yep.
That's what I'm seeing on my end. Don't be afraid to do that. Think outside the box. If you don't feel you can hurt somebody, how can you distract them? How can you provide backup? How can we work together? And that's one of the reasons why D&D is supposed to be unique. It's not just a role-playing game. It's a tactical battle game. It's one of the reasons why a lot of other board games take inspiration from that. Is that creativity allows different styles to come out. That's my perspective.
Okay.
Before I go
Simple.
too long.
Considering my experience has been in that final battle solely,
Pretty much.
I think I can see how the battle would be perceived as like too much, but I think that with the big group that we have and also the level of the battle that I saw, the crosstalk was a big impact. And I think the shift in that second half last part was helpful with not cross-talking. That shortened things up. I'm gonna go with just right because I don't have a broader view.
Of course.
And
And that makes sense. You're newer to the group.
also I think that a lot of it is the length and the excessiveness is just it was a big battle and
Yes.
we have a lot of players.
Yes.
So that's all I got.
Julie.
Starting out at the campaign, I think we started off with a little too much combat and not enough role play built into it. As we got further in, I think the combat and the role playing was starting to balance out properly. Dictating when the battles happen is probably one of the biggest things for us. Not just the combat itself.
We sort of strategize.
Yeah. The 1 minute at top of round usually helps out a lot more to speed combat up.
Yep.
Um,
Because everyone knows what hidden.
what they need to do from the outside character perspective. So I think combat finally hit its stride proper about the end of the first. So just right.
Okay.
I'm in agreement. I think just from what little battle and roleplay I got into, I think it was just right. And I think we did hit our full stride at the last time.
Yeah.
The
There was also some scheduling things that kind of
Right.
interfered where we had a super short session, so it turned into a 3-part. Well, it could have been a 2.
Yep.
But I think the overall the crosstalk at the top of the
Yeah.
battle order that was key because it kind of kept us in focus of what's going on, big picture, little picture, what we're going to be doing, and what's going to be taken off from there. Just because we don't know what's happening on your half, we kind of had a little strategize session to get us ready for that what if in case Nixon popped off and disappeared. Something.
We had a few things happen that nature.
Something like
I
that.
don't know what you're
But
talking about.
knowing generally what we were doing that cross at the top of the battle order, I think that was very helpful and it did speed things up a bit. I think that we're just right.
The only things that I had is the enemies having 3 attacks per enemy didn't really help with the speed of the combat. It's just that was chaos.
In that respect, that was mostly on me. When we really started hitting our stride, it's when I was, okay, this person has pack tactics. They're going to have 3 attacks, 2 of this type, 1 of this type. Let me get 6 D20s together and just roll them on the table
Yeah.
to speed things up instead of doing the virtual tabletop for every single one.
Yes.
Yeah,
And doing damage
that
on
was
the
the thing that I felt like was taking the longest, even longer than the barbarian and fighter
Yeah.
in some cases.
Okay.
But otherwise, I think it was pretty good. I do like the top of the round. I know I need to practice a little bit on the cross talk and not doing it.
Yeah.
I heard it's that stare you gave me.
Sure did. I'm not pulling any punches. I'm sorry. Now, with that being said, there's a couple other things on the combat side of things that I did want to talk about.
Yep.
I think we're in agreement that the way we were doing combat towards the end was the right way. Everybody knows what a legendary creature is. There is an experimental type of creature that I was considering bringing in. It's called Mythic. Essentially, its number of actions is based off of the players around it. It's going to be like one of those big bosses where it's the 7 of you against one thing, but at the end of every turn, it gets an action. Whatever it has resets on its turn. It could be tough, but it also loses certain abilities from the legendary list, like it does not have legendary resistances. So it can't just auto, your thing doesn't work, screw you. It can't do that.
The biggest thing I can see going wrong with that is if you as DM start focusing down one player with 7 actions per turn.
It can't work that way though. Because it is an action at the end of each turn, it's not... Okay, here's a good example. The example I saw was a creature that could pull you towards it, emit a gas cloud, and do a melee attack. That's only 3 actions it had.
But you could still focus on it.
You could. But
It's going to go for the biggest threats, always.
yes, but the upside of that is positioning was key. As long as you're not in the way, it couldn't like throw its hook past you to hit you. To pull you in.
It's okay, Gorillaz. I understand.
It's a tactical thing. Yeah, positioning becomes far more important in a situation like that. And I would never create a creature that would just be like, kind of like the Balhanoth, where it teleports you to it and goes, hi! That is a mythic creature. I would try to make sure that it's balanced.
Like
But with a group of this size, a boss encounter gets bursted down way too easily. Whereas a creature like this that gets an action at the end of everybody's turn actually gets to feel epic.
Right.
kind of like when the creature tried to pull me into the dark
It
depths.
was a pain in the
To
ass,
eat me?
but it was- I mean, the legendary was a pain in the ass just because it had the invisibility and all that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Balhanoth is a extremely dangerous creature, and this particular variation that was corrupted, remember those 4 pails that disappeared? It munched on them to get extra HP before it started fighting itself. It was a tough fight. It was supposed to be.
Yeah. I thought the toughness was good. I mean,
The toughness was good. The other problem I have with running into a mythic is if we've already depleted the majority of our resources
With what we
on
had
going
that's
with,
what-
with the battle.
Yes, well, that was the intent.
But-
It was a very intelligent creature. It wanted to waste everything you guys had before you confronted it.
But the thing with a mythic creature is if it pops up in the middle of, say, our battle with, the Red Death, where half of our resources are currently being spent on the one guy with a creature that suddenly has 7 actions.
You're going to
per round.
like the part.
Well, of course.
It
And
did.
that's where it comes on me to be, somebody who balances the encounter. I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey, you wasted everything. Here's a false Hydra. No. That would be insane.
Don't.
I mean,
break
I could-
False Hydra's
I guess
face.
I'm thinking like the Red
They've
Death
already been.
could be a
Oh.
mythic creature.
I'm dealing with
The Red Death is the mythic creature he's
Could
wanted.
be a mythic
Could
It
be a mythic
Uh,
creature.
I don't know if it is or not yet. I gotta see if I can balance it to be so. But it already has a legendary creature stat block, so I'm going to look at that and see how it goes. But I just wanted to get that idea out there. I may test it with like a weaker mythic creature just to see how it goes.
be kind of fun.
I don't know.
It would definitely be one of those random encounters, not something that you guys met after a slump.
Like when we're full up and ready to take
Yes,
it.
that's
Yes. It's gonna be on the fence. Like if it's gonna be like a story mythic creature, at least give it some sense of honor to either if it catches us at the end of like long conflict, either allow it to give us restoration or toss out a note. Day's time, meet once more, and I will see thee on the floor.
Or it could turn around and say, "Oh, you're stuck in the middle of this big old encounter. I want to kill you guys, but you guys are interfering with my job. I'm going to take you guys out too."
That too.
Yeah.
Like
And that's on me to balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get the idea out there because it's something that I'm playing with as a combat type thing.
I'm also not against the idea of something still having resistances. I'm just saying.
And legendary creatures still will.
Right.
A mythic creature has a different type of resistance.
Mythic resistance.
It's not an auto save. Mythic resistance, basically the way it works is they just have a really good. They can boost their save like once or twice per combat. Instead of it just being a flat, because like let's say you roll a nat 20, there's no reason to use mythic resistance because any boost is going to get trumped by the nat 20, unless the way the mythic resistance works is simply advantage. Because then if he rolls a nat 20, then
Devil's advocate, I mean, by all means, there's resistances and immunities. You can also really make it a mess and have it like, so say something looks like it could be made of ice coming out. One of us accidentally hits it with like ray of frost or ice, some sort of ice damage. But rather than just being immune, it heals.
yeah,
Like,
and it could be anything like that.
and it would teach us, oh, this is a bad idea. We can't just randomly toss elements out willy nilly. We got to be smarter about this.
Mhm.
Look for a weakness on this. So,
Yes.
along with a mythic resistance or mythic immunity or even a mythic heal, a mythic weakness would also be kind of helpful in any sense.
Now, the second thing that I want to bring up in regards to combat, there is a book coming out, Ryoko's Guide. It includes what are called kaiju, these massive, huge things that you have that go in stages, but they have specific weak points. But like, for example, Patrick could climb it
I was about to
in order to get to certain parts. Yes.
Wait a second.
Because it makes zero sense for a Tarrasque to be able to be killed by a regular dagger. But there are strategies out there to do exactly that.
I have a bad feeling.
We see the Achilles tendon is a very necessary.
Yeah, no, it involved an Aarakocra and buying a bajillion daggers and just dropping them on it over and over again.
Velocity.
I'm not that stupid.
Actually, that's also hilarious.
Well, it also kind of leads into another thing. Everybody knows what the Tarrasque looks like, except for possibly Autumn here. It had these massive spikes on its back. In nature, those are made so that it doesn't easily get eaten.
This discussion again.
So what eats a Tarrasque?
I don't know. What eats something that eats literal planes for lunch?
So,
Black
Goliath.
I can think of one thing and one thing only right off the top of my head. No, his name is Cronus.
Oh,
yeah, let's not do it. We're not fighting gods at level 7. Sorry.
no, we're not fighting Tarrasque level 7 either.
But there is a thing that killed the Tarrasque. Way to kill me.
It killed a dino.
But I still have to look into these rules
It is not a plane eater.
before I introduce them. I just wanted to get the ideas out there. If does anybody have any objections over this mythic-sized creature that you literally have to scale to get to the weak
In
points?
my opinion,
That is mythic-sized to you.
I love it.
Yeah, I just sent you a message. Why?
Why?
Uh,
It all out.
I don't want to say it because
No,
I wonder if it's going to be a secret thing or not.
Why? Why? Unless it's confirmed, we don't talk about this on over the top. Talk about it.
Oh, he's giving me more monster ideas.
No, by all means. The point of the ReZero. What kind of shenanigans do you want to fight?
But anyway,
No, it's the Bile Titan from Helldivers. It's finally that thing is walking towards
Yeah,
you.
we have things like that in D&D.
Yeah,
You know what they were called? Frost spiders.
there are plenty of things to draw from.
Yeah.
You got
I'm
outlet.
interested in that book though. Like, I'm actually interested in what that book is.
That all being said, real quick, I just wanted to read through. Wizard also preferred experience as a additional reward capability. Also, combat was just right for him as well. All right, shifting away from combat. Now we're going into roleplay.
Yeah.
Ace.
I feel like there's just enough to play. Like everybody can talk, everybody can give their thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Everybody can interact and say what they want to say.
Okay.
I'm also going to say that I thought once we got, as Julian said in the beginning, too much combat, not enough role play. We balanced it out a lot. It's been better. You going around the table when we're in a town instead of like
Right.
myself and Julian taking over the entire thing, which is the problem because we are the role players. We've been doing this for decades.
Yeah.
So
And everybody needs their chance to shine.
yes, so I think it got much better as you got around to like, hey, what are you doing? What are you
It
doing?
does take me a little bit to learn the groups.
Yeah.
And figure out what needs adjusting as I go.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah. You got better, and I think it's just right now. We've
Okay.
got to that.
I'm saying just right. Love being able to play as a goofy barbarian, smarter than your average bear. Make those usual mistakes. You know how hard it is trying to figure out which words I need to switch out for a wrong word to keep up with this kind of thinking. But I do like the role playing. It gives enough buyback between everybody
Yeah.
here. I mean, yes, well, there's still some respect between Rulnock and Katria. Do not expect me to take orders from you in the battle. That you just ran listlessly around. But these two, I was able to keep an ear out because they have battle tactics. And we had these discussions about this. Like, what were we going to be worried about?
we also come from the same planes, our characters. So it's like we kind of have a little understanding.
Little rapport.
Yes.
Okay.
I can always do better. I can always do more. I feel like I was getting a better understanding for how roleplay we were. I kind of want to do where I'm just gonna set my mind to always be in character when I'm talking.
That is a very good thing.
Yeah.
Good point to bring up. If you're saying it out loud, I'm considering it in character. If it's not during the little bit of out of character discussion I give you at the top of the round. I also very much enjoyed your little, and I randomly put a cup on. You interject every now and again. It was just the funniest thing.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
It was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So you were listed as Just Right?
Or just too little.
We're not talking about your character specifically, we're talking about the group as a whole.
I think that there is a lot of really good roleplay going on. I think that I don't understand all of it with all of the politics going on,
Yeah.
but that's kind of like
No,
That's the learning curve of it.
Yeah.
We're going to get to the politics side.
yeah. But yes, just right. We're good.
I put us at just right. Like I said during our combat discussion, we were combat heavy towards the beginning, but we finally got to the point of where role playing was balancing out properly.
Mhm.
I'm just right as well. I think that coming in a little bit later, I didn't get to see the earlier parts firsthand, so I came into a good balance.
I'm fine with it. Roleplay, I'm not good with it. I am trying to practice it.
Mhm. It takes time.
I know.
And like I said, we have decades on each other, so it's like
Yeah. We've been doing this for a very
I've got 20 plus years of role play, almost 30 years of role playing. I'm by the way, Cole, I was probably with you, like your level of like I don't understand it, I'm not good at it. When I first started back when I was 14.
Thing
It just comes from time, and playing and going. And
Experience.
I won. It took me almost 10 years before I won a best role player at one of my levels. So that should give you an idea. It takes a long time to get there.
Yeah.
So.
Because you got to. So there's 3 things when it comes to your characters. You have your character build. That's all of your mechanics.
Yes.
Your second character, the second point of the character is their background, how detailed you can make it. The third point is finding your character's voice, and that has always been the most difficult part.
That's
of any
and
character.
I was still struggle with that. That's why I don't really throw my voice. I just keep it.
Especially when you have to consider personality traits, personal quirks,
Yeah.
flaws.
Not everybody's gonna have the quirkiness of Symbol, and not everybody's gonna have the straight edge. Like with my character, it's very factual, very. There's no joking around.
Yeah, and it's finding your character's voice. Your character's voice encompasses not just an inflection that you make, but
Yeah.
it's how your character feels, how you built your character, where your character's at in their mental space. All of that is encompassed. in your
Ace is a
character.
natural at their Ace is a natural at their
Because- and that's partly by design.
Yeah.
Ace was very good about saying, "Hey, my personality fits this, so I can act myself and just add a little bit of goofiness to it,
Yeah.
and be good to go."
Yeah.
Having a character that's in line with how you are as a person, I know that's what you were trying to do when you first were playing as
Ralphus.
Ralphus, but it just the character itself was too much for you. If you had played a Warforged fighter from the beginning, I think you would have had a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Because again, your build, how your character's built, plays a big part in how they act.
Yeah, that was the very first time I built a character. First time I even seen the Artificer classes. Like, that sounded the most interesting.
Yeah, but there's also a reason why for first-time players, I recommend the martial classes because they are
Fighter.
they are straightforward. They are very easy to get into, and mechanic-wise, they are very simplistic, but they can become very.
I mean, you could have probably pushed yourself a little bit with like a sorcerer maybe because that's a little bit easier to play than a
yeah.
wizard.
Because
Wizard are insanely hard.
But it's not overly common.
Yeah,
I had to go with the
sorcerers are
most
nice and
complicated
easy.
thing and the first thing that I did.
Okay, so I do have a little bit to expound upon with roleplay. I need everybody to flip over the backside of their paper, and I want you to make 2 lists. They're called veils and lines.
Veils.
V-E-I-L?
VEILS. Veils and lines. Okay? Now, everybody has a comfort level with different topics. Alright? If you have anything that you prefer to quote unquote fade to black, that is called a veil. For example, torture, intimacy, things of that nature. You may want to include it in the roleplay to keep it realistic, but you may want to not have it gone into detail. That's fine. Lines are just hard no.
Yeah.
You do not want to see this in the roleplay whatsoever. So I want you, on your own,
Maybe because I've been doing it for years.
come up with a list of things that you are not comfortable with and write them down under veils or lines. There are, like I said, everybody has different tastes, and it's up to me to make sure that we do not cross any lines.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are certain topics you just don't.
Yeah. I literally only have one because between you and I, how long we've been role playing,
Yeah.
I only have one hard line for me, and
You don't have to announce it out loud.
no, it's fine. For any character I play, I pretty much play them ace. They are aromantic ace. They don't go for They don't go for romances.
That's fine.
It's fine.
So that's
And if it's constrained to just your character and you don't mind other people doing it,
Yeah.
then you don't have to listen to it. But
that is literally the
it's
only part.
mostly just what do you not want brought up at the table out loud.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
especially for us, because we stream,
Yes.
it could be something important to you.
I was gonna say, probably sexual assault is probably a big one.
Well,
Keep that one on.
jot that down. I'm going to be collecting these afterwards so that I have a good idea and I can compile this. But go ahead and jot that stuff down. I'm not saying anything out loud, but it's important.
I'm okay being upfront about that.
Yeah, that's fine. What?
Are we allowed to get a little bit of food?
Yeah, you can occasionally get out and get food.
Table welcome.
I love how he asks.
You are limited to 2 pieces of food.
You heard the
But you
man.
eat it all. Alright, let me
Eat it
go.
all?
Grab some bone.
You can.
Leave the boneless beef.
So, as you guys are finishing that list,
Yeah. Like I said, I have one.
our next
Yeah, makes sense.
topic is going to be politics. Yeah. We did not have a lot of politics back. To be honest, there was a little, but not a lot.
I'm gonna say too little because I'm a political junkie. A lot of the LARPs I play are very political, where it's like you have politics between different cities, different towns, different like
Kind of like the
realms.
politics between the Spire and the home where Lilith lived.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of politics there, but not a lot.
No. Yeah. We had more politic talk when we were dealing with Flynn and his group. There was a little more politics talk because we started getting the Ravnica politics in there.
Yeah.
So I'm very much a politics junkie. I want more politics. I like more politics because that also gives more role play opportunities too.
Yeah. And a point in that favor for the politics.
Hold on real quick. I'm trying to get around.
Well, no, this has to deal with that specifically. The higher level you up is, the more politics you're putting.
You're powerful enough in order to be on the table.
Yes.
I see what you're saying.
Yes.
That's fair. Did you have any opinions on this?
Kind of. I feel like it's just I'm not a huge politics person.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm 14. But I do feel like it adds drama or it adds seriousness and adds just expression to the situation.
Yeah. That's fair. How about you?
I will actually go with Tyson. I do feel that there's a little bit of not enough of politics, but I don't want to like make it a pressing thing. More of a game.
Yeah.
The challenge between two cities is one thing to explore and dissect. Trying to gain an understanding of why one second race is being discriminated against by another second race is also another thing to dissect. Let's keep it limited to that. But I'm worried about real world politics and opinion and expanding our politics, and I'm not quite ready on an aspect like that large. So I'm okay with like in-game politics. I'm okay with trying to figure out whether General Rockmore is going to backstab us because we don't conform to their version of society. But if we start bringing in like referential beings outside, like I don't know, Bo Jiden starts coming out versus Bucky Duck. Yeah, that stuff becomes a bit too cloggy. And
Yeah.
Too much. It's too much.
So increase just a little.
Increments, small increments.
I don't have a strong opinion. I'll go with the level of it. I thought there was pretty in-depth structure of people who already existed when I jumped in. But that's just kind of where I jumped in. So I think it's good. I think having a little bit of subterfuge, political siding makes things a little more exciting. So.
Oh, can you guys check on it on? Sound like somebody did.
Excuse me, can we talk about our Lord and Savior Cthulhu today?
Oh, never mind. This is for me. I'll be right back. Apologies.
Forgiven, I guess.
Random guess.
I don't know who it is.
House.
Yeah, black things.
I still think this time
As I look at the cat that's going to become Lord of Greed, politics is going to be in your nature.
You're gonna be Lord of Greed.
Oh yeah.
You'll be pulling them
Now
out.
I'll just go off and say, screw you, I'm going home. See ya, goodbye.
I think you have to be a politician like the
How
guy.
about when you call Nick down and send you home?
Except wants to stay here and kiss you about guys. Or find him, who knows?
Develop the issue of if money will not convince you, and I'm not like to develop private family.
No. All that happened in the family.
Pretty hang around. Yeah, I like offers and terms in your favor.
Yeah.
See, now we're working. Now I can go and tell the king. Tell the king, I'll tell you.
Yippee!
And that's still
What's the sound effect?
politics. You can't escape it.
Higher the levels, the more politics we're going to get involved in.
Yep.
It is the enforcer.
So now I'm back to being the official 100% leader of the group again. Basically, I talk all the time
That is why we're supposed to work together.
now.
What?
I'm only.
But everyone sees me as the leader now
Oh
again.
my god.
Now we're going to be the leader.
I'm not ready for this.
Well, I don't want
Come on,
to
come on.
bone.
They said we're not the leaders who can talk
You need other
about
things, like the sandwiches.
Yeah.
it.
I don't feel like
No.
I'm gonna be getting in a fight.
I'm here like
I know, right?
Where were we? I believe I just talked to Autumn.
Mm-hmm.
It is now on Julia.
Personally, it was a little too little of the politicking, but I already know as we level up that politics is going to really come out far more because we actually will have a center stage at that point. We will be effectively the proper storms chosen.
You'll be known.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As more than just, hey, this little group just came out of the storm.
Yeah.
So I
We
know
have a name for ourselves now.
the politics itself will increase as
And
we
you
go.
guys will have earned some renown for taking care of a possibly world-ending threat before it became a real problem.
Yeah.
Politics, I think, is to go a little bit more again, but once we start getting our characters out there, being thrown in from different realms, and nobody even knows who each character is except for the ones from that area.
Yep.
So I think after doing certain feats and getting our names out there, it's going to naturally evolve to where it needs to be, but a little bit more politicking would be good.
Okay.
And given the nature of the story,
Yeah.
we're involving ourselves with gods. Already, politics are involved.
What politics?
I don't know.
I don't do politics at all.
No opinion.
No opinion.
So I will say this.
Roll not smash.
It's a chance that a role player too is the politics side of it.
I don't do good politics when we do magic. Yeah.
Paul, where are you going? Alright, hurry up.
That version of politics, D&D version of politics are two separate.
Yeah.
Okay. We have reached the end of the first section of our little bit. I'm going to break it up by revealing to all of you there will be a stat change. One thing that I did in a little, hear me out. One thing that I did in a little one shot that I did was I had everyone to have the same stats. They could put them where they wanted, but everyone was on the same power level because we all had the same stats to work with. Now, the way I was planning to do it, and we can adjust this as we go, this is up for discussion. If everyone will pull out 1d6, you will roll the 1d6. And I will take the top 3 rolls. So, because there's 7 of you, that makes your odds pretty good.
Of everyone getting 18s.
At least 1.
And possibly multiple.
Possibly. Now, I will say that I am going to limit it to 1 18. Because having, like, let's say you guys just happen to roll ungodly, having 3 or 4 stats in 18 is just ridiculous.
It would be for fun.
No, it makes it impossible for me to balance the encounters. Like I was telling Julian earlier, prep work stops being fun when it starts becoming homework. And if I have to sit there and boggle my brain for 3 hours to balance an encounter properly, that's no longer fun. And this makes me fun for me too, Dada. I can't have you guys walking around with God's house.
So we're gonna want us to.
Well, first things first, we discuss. Anybody have any objections to that particular thing? I feel like it's more balanced and fair that everybody has the same stats working with. So if everybody has a 10, that means everyone has a 10 somewhere. Something they're not great at. It also gives you guys better odds for some people who wound up with -1 modifier in certain places. I know you are. And it still could happen. Because guess what? I'm not letting ones be re-rolled.
Oh.
So the lowest possible stat you all could get,
Is it 3?
I don't think I would let that. That's a statistical anomaly. The lowest I would let a roll be is probably a 6.
So we're literally changing our stats.
You're going to get another pool of stats to put in different places.
Why do we like our stats?
I know. But I'm trying to make it fair across the board because some people roll really, really good and other people roll really poorly. And I don't like that. If it's going
So
to
we're basically doing our characters.
not quite.
No.
The basis. One of the things I have with doing that now at the beginning and having everybody re-roll their stats now. When you build it like that, where every character can have the same stat block and put it where they want, you run into an issue of everything starts looking kind of the same other than their percent.
Well, I mean, in some ways, yes, but Catria and your stat block are going to look vastly different, even if you have the same numbers to work with. Yeah, because you're going to put yours in Dex, they're going to put theirs in Strength, so on and so forth.
Yeah, but when you start rolling it out because they are a strength-based class and I'm running a dex-based class, those things start looking almost exactly the same, excluding literally your saves. Because we're both damage-dealing classes, we're going to be dealing a lot of damage, classes, and it's going to be, oh hey, they rolled a 26. Oh hey, I rolled a 26, and you're going to start seeing that. And it's going to be less impactful because you're not showing off what each character really do based off of what those characters would have been. You can also start seeing that a bit in the roleplay area. Like, let's see here. Just about everybody has at least 118 some, and where they placed it.
Well, I mean, then you literally just contradict your own argument.
No, because everybody has that 118. However, I have a 9 in strength. I am lugging around a bag that's about my size with a rifle that's twice my height. I'm going to be running with some impediments with that 9 strength. Whereas if everybody else has this, and you have everybody have the same exact stat block, you're not going to have those deficiencies built in either for their characters to run with.
Just more worried story-wise. I feel that some of the staff came out with Catria being already a level an 11 intelligence +0. Having that suddenly bump up to like a +1 or +2.
It does change the way that you would act in ways too, because of your intelligence system. I mean, imagine me going from 11 strength to suddenly a 14 strength. It's like, it doesn't make sense. It's like suddenly I become buff. It's like, it's not my character.
It's not to say that. I mean, if there's a if there's an understanding that has to do time we're allowed to work on these, it would explain a little bit better. But that would be expecting that the next act would be like 2 or 3 months down the line. That would give some leeway in understanding that we've had the time to either gain or lose strength in these stats. If I don't keep up with my my training, I understand if my strength goes down from 20 with the racial bonus down to an 18 because of that. So if we are doing that, story-wise, there has to be a little bit more understanding.
Yeah. And I wanted to, like I said, I was throwing the idea out there. As far as the roleplay aspect of it, that wouldn't be that difficult to justify. Only because, like a certain former Tabaxi, you're in the presence of someone who can literally manipulate your life force. The roleplay side of it, I wasn't worried about. So that part I get. My hesitation was on the out of character side of things. I do understand some people having some apprehension about particular things going up or down. I was just in the interest of making things more fair overall, because some people did roll lower, some people did roll higher, and that kind of bothered me on probably an OCD level. It doesn't. It was just something that I was proposing.
We are with the god of magic and the god of light, roleplay wise.
I mean, so long as it's an option. Like, if we were rolling a stat block and then becomes a stat block,
I'm going to put it up to a vote if people want to keep their current stats, or if people want to re-roll.
At that point, then that's a better option. You should, like, I'm happy with my stats, and I know that next level I get the stat increase
Or a feat.
but feet or stat increase. I mean, I might have 220s on my thing.
Right. So, who is in favor of keeping their current stats? That is majority. Okay. So we'll keep our current stats.
Sorry. I don't like pain.
But yeah, that's where the ASIs come into play.
Yeah.
They don't-
And that was going to be my argument for the re-roll. Yeah, we re-roll. Maybe you have one that's low, but then you use an ASI to fix it. And you can do it that it's in its next level. But that's fine. No big deal. So, moving into the next topic. What do you want to see more of? Now, this is a more broad statement. It doesn't have to be combat, roleplay, politics. What do you want to see more of? Whether that be items as rewards, more monetary gains. What do you want to see? Realistic. What do you want to actually see more of?
Let me think. When I was talking.
Alright, fine. Skip me in for now. Nice.
I'm looking forward to seeing more of this world and exploring worlds.
So, more world exploration.
Yes.
You guys have been kind of constrained to one section for a while.
Yes. So it's gonna be nice to be open and more like out there.
Okay?
In my opinion, only forgive me, but since we're going up to the surface, maybe some sky island. Maybe, some interplay between those who fly above the natural plane and then the natural plane itself. Thing is,
It's funny you bring that up because there is a single sky island on the map.
Allah.
This is One Piece.
No! This is an artifact.
Sky Islands.
But with that being said, anything else?
We haven't faced any flying creatures yet, so the fear of fall damage would be lovely.
Well, I fought a flying creature.
The fear of fall damage would be lovely.
Okay. Yeah. Autumn.
With the insight that I have, I love puzzles and crafts, and
I kind of agree with you on the puzzles. I introduced them pretty early on. You didn't really see them, but I have a hankering for saying, okay, do a thing.
that's a very literal puzzle, and I love that.
I mean, Tyson's over there. One of his items is a flipping Rubik's cube.
That I did see that. I don't understand that, but I did see that.
It
But
doesn't fall, I put spells in
in
it.
order to attune to it, he had to solve it.
That took me a while.
I do allow after a certain amount of time because I'm not a horrible human being for him to use an app.
Yeah, catch me peeling the stickers off.
Don't destroy my trust. absolutely agree with that. We didn't have a whole lot. It was pretty straightforward. Getting down there wasn't a lot of intrigue and, having to use your brain hole. So I agree with that. Julian.
Monetary or item rewards might be something that we should see more of. Our entire way down was us literally hanging on to our last piece of gold for a majority of the time, and with only one cleric on our side who is a half healer effectively at this point, us needing to get items that can be either used in those types of situations where we don't have the healing, or if we can buy the items.
And that's what I was trying to lean toward the end. Remember Squirt's sister. So if you have a particular item that you're looking for, let's say you're scrolling through the list, you're like, man, this would be really helpful. Basically what's going to happen is you're going to tell me that item. She's going to quote unquote research, and I'm going to send you guys on a quest to get that item. To kind of more tailor what you guys are wanting and turning those wants into an adventure on their own.
What's the D&D equivalent of Phoenix Down?
It's called the Good Berry.
Well, no. Phoenix Down is essentially his racial ability.
But there's those types of quests, but you also have we have the harvesting now, which we haven't been able to do a lot of.
Yeah.
And then the crafting aspect as well.
The crafting
Which we don't
aspect.
really have people that do a lot of crafting in this group, so.
As long as you have a skill proficiency or a decent bonus, I'm not really going to stop you from crafting. You just have to, when it comes to the roleplay of it, you just gotta come up, how are you doing it? For example, the fighter is a gunslinger. It would be perfectly acceptable if they knew how to tinker on their weapons.
Of course.
The other thing was mostly we weren't getting nearly enough gold for the proposition, and you saw that as we leveled up. Us against the majority of the creatures was making the combats long, because we didn't have that equivalent of a buff. Which is where a lot of that additional power comes in, is as you level up, you get the rarer and rarer items, or you get items that buff your ability to hit or deal damage.
I just remembered when we first went to the Spider and gained like the cube and all that, how much that ended up costing us. We're scrounging to find
Anything.
enough.
Just to pay off the base debt. And the thing for literally up until the point of we had our new female ghost blacksmith actually craft her something, she had no magical weapons. She had no ability to do damage if something had a resistance to non-magical items.
And that was partly why you only ran into ghosts pretty early on, and you didn't really see them again. I did take that into account when I was balancing the encounters. Now, on a counterpoint of that, almost everyone's freaking attunement slots were full. So it's hard for me to just continue dishing out magic items.
And it doesn't have to be attunement magic items. You can literally hand out potions, because there are things like potions of giant strength.
Which is one of the reasons that I was trying to incorporate the herbs. I don't want it to be just as simple as walking into a potion shop and buying stuff.
Huh. But there's always an expense that comes to that. That's where we had no money to buy the stuff anyways. So you have that balance. We either find the items or find the gold.
Not until we
buy
got to this realm, it's like we finally have enough money for like, hey, I need this, this, and this. It's like we can pay for it because we were allowed to gamble. We were finally able to start gaining wealth finally at that point. And that's when it's like, okay, I can do this.
And to be fair, one person here has always had the ability to make money. They're just bad at it.
That's a head scratcher.
Yes. Either
I can kind of see where you're coming
we
particularly the monetary. I felt like I was pretty decent with the items.
the items. Yeah, you were fine.
You were fine.
It's just
Like,
The
stuff
monetary could have been fun.
we did not have nearly enough gold to even afford half the stuff that we really actually needed or wanted at that point.
That's fair.
Even with Scorch running around, trading in 5-10 items for one item or two items.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that I incorporated that is that number one, I wanted you guys to always have a shop. Somehow, some way, I wanted you to have a shop there without going, crap, we're in the middle of a dungeon and we're having a moment of rest and I need this. Or I want to get rid of all of this. I wanted you to have that availability. Which is why I'm slowly expanding upon Scorch's capabilities.
But yeah, it was mostly a gold issue.
Yeah.
For a majority of the first act was we had nothing on us.
We should have platinum by the time we hit the lower levels. So.
Fair, but based on what I've read, now fair enough, it's purely perspective. People don't start earning a lot of gold until about level 8 to 10.
You usually start seeing it closer to level 5
Yeah.
because that is so levels 1 to 4, 1 to 5 is your literal I am a beginner adventure. The moment you hit level 5 plus, you have hit your intermediates, whereas anything above 10 is your experts and masterclasses. So hitting about level 5, we should have been earning probably about 100, 150 gold per person.
Okay. Alright. Eddie, what do you want to see?
I think what I would like to see more of is just random stuff. Unknown stuff.
Stuff that we haven't been able to identify.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. I'm not from this area, so if I stumble across this cube, I wouldn't know what it is. He may know what it is, but I wouldn't know what it is.
Right.
You know, just
I can
maybe something,
do my thing.
some more exotic, out there stuff that we could come across and encounter. Maybe more harder to have to look for.
Yeah.
But just kind of exotic stuff that's kind of not of this realm, something that we haven't seen. It'd be kind of fun to have figured out what it is.
Welcome to the water tower. Moving on.
That's fun. I like that.
Oh my goodness.
I'd like to see some of the other older characters come back, like the other person who came with us in the storm and the goblin that we first met up at the beginning. I'd love to see that, like, technically my character and a couple of the other newer characters react to this overpowered goblin that comes back to the group. I'd love to see that.
Okay. You didn't go.
Yes, I didn't. I'm definitely going with what Eddie said, like finding random stuff. For example, like the Queen of Greed, it's an artifact with something very important, but we didn't know what it was. So
Yeah.
came out with it. Just finding like random stuff that could change or impact the game. Or not. Just for funsies.
And it doesn't have to be specifically a plus item. It could be like a random small curse.
Okay. Yep. All right. Transitioning. What do you want to see less of? Ace.
I don't really know if come back to me. What? And I'm going back.
Fair enough.
I had a hard time with this one because I think we saw minus seeing less zombies and zombie-like creatures like these curse things.
Which is kind of like the entire theme of the world.
kind of right. Yeah.
I want to see less undead on an undead planet. What?
No, I honestly felt like what we did have was good, like you said. And it kind of goes into like, there's too much combat, maybe a little less combat into the more role playing, but that's just where that goes.
Yeah.
I guess it got better towards the end. So.
For you, this might be controversial. Less easy answer. We're getting to higher levels. We're starting to be more reliant on different skills, different aspects. We're going to need to also, and yes, some of us are playing low intelligent characters. That does not mean low mental characters. We need to actually start appreciating each other's strength resources in order to find more fine-tuned answers. If there's like a starvation going on up on the surface, just going, hey, we found a large supply of food should not be a simple answer. Growing a farm should come with it. Finding the right fruits and right seeds to plant. Trying to encourage enough people to become farmers. Something that falls in line with the politics portion, the roleplay portion. That to me seems that would actually be more engaging, more thought engaging. But that's my perspective.
Autumn? And just to preface this, you don't have to have a solid answer. If you're not sure, that's fine. That's a very good answer.
Thank you. But no, I'm not saying let's completely erase easy answers. But you can't always rely on easy answers. Easy answers shouldn't always be a go-to. There should be consequences.
I would like less backstabbing double agents.
I cannot promise.
No, that's.
I know.
But that's also going. That's
fair.
going into politics in a way too. So.
Julian? Not the problem.
What do you want me to do?
You could have done something.
Take Autumn in the middle of the night, run away with her? Oh my God.
I would like to see. I'm trying to think of the way to actually this. Less straight up acceptance. The thing is we walk into a brand new place. Yeah, we're there for all of 2 hours and suddenly we're accepted by half the people in the city. I want there to actually be a more struggle for the group itself because we're new to this world. We don't know their customs. We know their the majority of them know their language, but we don't know their customs. So having us walk in there and say, "Oh yeah, hey," and do maybe something goes wrong in the interaction. I want to see more consequences to the actions that we have between areas. Much like his less easy answers, I want there to be less understanding because we don't know this world.
And I kind of get what you're saying. There was a reason I had thought about. You were running into a lot of places that were full of desperation, that were willing to grasp at any straw they could,
Yeah.
and you were that strong. That being said, I can kind of see what you're saying there.
Especially
And I will definitely. There will be areas on the surface that are far less accepting, and that you will outright disagree with. But
Yeah.
we will see how that goes. I will take that into consideration. Eddie?
I agree with both of what they're saying. I think Julian's got a great point with the acceptance because our characters' features, our traits, our looks. When you first walk into a place, not everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Oh yeah, no, and trust me, the renowned dating is good for some, bad for others.
But I mean, especially when you come from an area where you don't see 12-foot tall people. Or you come from an area where you don't see somebody as small as your kneecaps walking by you. It's just that you kind of miss that knee-jerk reaction that
Absolutely.
what the hell just happened? What is this little thing?
Right.
Why is there such a big
Why are you
person
hitting
here?
my leg hairs? Ah.
Attack of the 50-foot tall one!
I think they're spot on with that.
Okay.
More real life reaction.
Of course.
I do also agree. I would like to see less swarms. Swarms of enemies.
So maybe like a few more powerful enemies, but not so many acts.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
when they had
I'm
so
with
many
that.
attacks.
Unless it is a part of their dynamic, which the Paladin definitely was. Their entire
and the
thing
Mage
was
Rippers.
numbers and poison.
And
That was their
And-
whole thing.
along with the Mage Rippers are swarms usually, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. But I'm with you.
Yeah.
Less of those. I like to see more just powerful enemies.
Yeah, I did not like the swarms of enemies because that's what also, to what we were saying earlier, we just, because there were so many enemies, we were drained of all of our stuff.
I can agree with that.
Okay. So, I have that written down. The next question is, what direction do you want the party to go? Now, this is
Hold
not
Give me
necessarily...
somebody.
Oh, yeah. What do you want to see less?
God, I honestly don't really know. I would probably have to say long combats.
Less long
I
combat.
know you can't control that. It's just
Yeah, a big
I don't
Well,
know.
it's
It's something we could work out. Me and you, like something where I can go like take a breather while combat's happening, because I cannot sit down and physically stay focused for one good.
And one of the big things you'll find with combats is the more enemies there are, the longer the combat's typically going to be. So it falls in line with less swarms or less ads, because those do drag out combat a lot more. Yes, they're more dangerous to the party, but they are also it can also drain the players a lot.
Okay, that's fair.
Long comments. Great.
More and stuff that drain everyone.
I mean,
I'd like to see less of my character.
Hey, you're the dealer. You're that's unfortunate.
You made yourself a threat, and you let the recon escape. That was the natural consequence of those actions.
Yeah, especially when you have
It's gonna
radiant
be-
damage, which
We're gonna
does
have real
extra
fun.
damage.
Extra helps top.
So, what direction do you want the party to go? Now, this isn't just, hey, we want to go to the forest.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about, like, are you leaning towards, hey, we want to find a location to really make a home base? Or do we want to go explore different sections of the world and do X, Y, and Z? That's what I'm looking for with this question.
Long term.
Well, not even necessarily that, but what direction do you want the party to focus on going forward? Everybody knows what the main quest is. I've been very upfront and blunt with that since the very beginning.
What's the main quest?
Return the book back to Ravnica.
Well,
No.
that's the
That
rat.
has changed.
It has.
And
And even I don't want to return it back to
it's
Ravnica at this
it's
point.
free death on the
Free
world,
death.
or return death
Return
to
death.
the
Right,
world.
that's the primary question.
Really return to
DM, I am
I
going to
do-
abstain from this question
No,
primarily because of the
I
new
would-
character that's incoming. So I will abstain from this one.
you would fix
It
it.
will be
No.
more for the group that currently has
That's fine. That's fine. So,
I didn't think exploring. I like how the party is going currently, like where we're going through and going to different places and not really setting up anywhere, and meeting people, NPCs, actual real people to add to the group, even if that's not happening. But still, meeting NPCs or meeting different types of people and getting used to the area. Just leaving,
fair.
going and exploring.
I would also say, like I said I wanted to see more of this world. That goes into the exploring side.
Yeah.
I definitely don't. Well, we have the opportunity to do a home base like we did with the Gritty Widow.
And that was literally designed to give you a taste of what that could be.
Yeah. I don't think it fits at least most adventure style unless they want to like have a castle or something. Not my style.
Okay. And that's fun. Everybody has their own style. How about you?
I'm kind of torn. Well, we're meeting a caravan style scenario would be more, exported, would allow us to keep going. We are getting to a point where, at high levels, we are expecting to start taking in room of different, starting our own company, starting our own,
Yeah.
adventures. We may be in another world, but
But we
can
could do that up on a different area.
We
We could find a place where it's like this is advantageous for us to have a place.
But we need a single place so that those coming from different storms have a place to gather at. Us wandering around, picking up randos is only going to get us so far. Soon we'll have another group from either Ravnica or a different world grouping together. But at some point, we can, after doing some more exploration, find a more common point where we can send a signal and go, hey, those who've been caught in the storm and brought from a different world, reach here, find us. It's something. We're the storm's chosen. Those who've been lost in the storm, both from different worlds, meet us. We'll be able to help you find your way back. And you can help us in our own personal goals. As we try to prevent the collapse of the multiple planes of existence. Something along those.
How about you, Autumn?
As far as where I want us to go exploring, but in the sense that I want to see just different kinds of landscapes. That's my main interest. Is just like
Stop being in a flipping cave.
hey, caves. You can grow up in caves.
We
There's
don't
no
even know how
plant
long
here.
we've been in the cave.
But just the ability to explore like different genres of
Okay.
creatures and life and exploration.
We don't even know how long we've been in the
So
cave.
I'm saying.
I'm back and forth too a little bit because I think that we should have just as a dynamic, a homestead that we could always fall back to after we go out and venture out. It's not something that we have to permanently keep, but something that's there for us to come back to.
Once more, going back to the caravan idea.
Right.
We can find places we can. We can build on our own personal caravans, our own personal wagons, if we can get the chance to. But a legitimate home probably will be our end goal after
Right.
further
I
exploration.
think because we don't know what's going to happen
But we need that
afterwards,
for the
but
exploration to find that place.
Exactly.
or most people want to have a place, a sanctuary to come to and be able to regroup and
Of course, for my character, home would be back around.
right.
I would say I would return.
But having a safe place to go to in the meantime. If we go out exploring, to the west and we get to the coast and we can't go further from there, we can always come back, regroup, and go a different direction.
Okay. I like both sides of the story. Going on an adventure and also making a home base.
Okay.
But then can I offer this proposition? We explore until we find like a strong enough ley line that will allow us to pierce through the veils. And then if any one of us who was more prone to making gateways or prone to going through planes, try to like form a portal through there and make a way back to Ravnica.
So you're basically talking.
Actually,
Now, I had a moment of inspiration as you guys were talking. We've already kind of made the foundation for a possibility on that front. What if you guys were able to, hypothetically, either a mobile home base or a one that existed, possibly like you made a house next to Squirt.
Yeah,
You're able
really
to-
agreed.
You're able to fall back to that,
But
and
we also have the Purple Fortress.
A round table.
right, yeah, the Portal Fortress it does kind of help quite a bit.
We have a purple home.
another thing is having more people from the other worlds, not just Ravnica. It'd be interesting to have more Stormbrought people in the story.
Did you say Stormbridge?
Stormbrought.
Stormbridge.
You need something to perk you up in the next morning? Storm Brunch. The right brunch for your lunch.
Oh my god.
I know why you play a bard now. Anyway, I kind of see what you're saying. I will brainstorm this and try to figure out something.
There are lots of plans you can play with.
There's like
Yeah.
Dominaria.
Well, no, I'm saying that's all well and good, but I'm talking about the direction we're wanting to go specifically.
Ah,
We already tell you the pyramid. We have a portable fortress. We can take
yeah, you definitely do that.
But yeah, that's just my perspective. Along the road.
No, absolutely. Like, and trust me when I tell you, there will be kingdoms that try to tie you down. Oh, nice, powerful Stormbrought group. Good service, good guards. Hey, I got you a house. Anyway,
I'll offer you towers. I'll offer you libraries. Just don't leave, please.
now this next one is a multifaceted one. Actually, I don't think I heard from you again.
Me or Ace?
Me,
Yes, you.
me. I thought you did.
Yeah. That's
It's
what-
actually
Oh, yeah.
They did this time.
Okay. So the next one is, like I said, I'm going to be a little bit rough with this one. D&D is difficult to do for the timeline. Some people's schedules are way more flexible than others. Now, with that being said, I feel it is very important that if this is a hobby that you want to do, that we stick with it and we work around the hobby as well. So, what I want to do is we all figure out the timeline. It could be shorter sessions and it's during the weekday, whatever the case may be. but we stick to that timeline. We have had a lot of time where we did not host session because somebody had stuff to do, so on and so forth. And that's fine to an extent. If we have to shift the timeline around so we can make it more consistent, that's what I want to do. I want to make, because
I mean, the thing is, though, we're gonna have vacations, we're gonna have time off, we'll have families.
of course,
Yeah.
and I get that. Trust me. If we make a vacation period for the entire group, cool, not a big deal.
Like as I said, we're
Yeah.
out for 2 weeks in June. There's your vacation time. Go. You guys can go do whatever you want during that time, but we're gone for 2 weeks. So there's absolutely gonna be. I'm gonna be on a cruise ship, and then
Of course,
I'm not
of
gonna
course.
be able to play. I can't even be able to do this. It's like there's no way. I'm gonna be busy.
Yeah, I understand. And us knowing about those things ahead of time
Yeah.
makes perfect sense.
You got 90 plus. You got
Another
90.
another time it would be probably Christmas vacation. Obviously, I'm not going to host session during that time.
Which is funny. That's the time I have the most time.
That could be used. But just Sundays still work for everyone. Because, like I said, I do want to make it more consistent. Because we can get through a lot more, even if on shorter sessions, if we come every week. We make it weekly. But we have to make it consistent.
Sundays are pretty much my biggest free. Yeah. Saturdays I've got stuff going on. Fridays I mean, unless we did change Magic for Friday night, and then that Friday nights would be free.
Right. So Friday and Sunday is you two.
Friday and Sunday is ours.
Okay.
I mean, unless you wanted to consider Mondays. It's the other time I have free, but that's not always consistent. Mondays are a bad day.
Yeah. So for you two, it's Friday and Sunday. How
I
about
don't
you?
even.
Work
That's
change
true,
my
right?
time from Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4.
Well, if we did do Friday, it'd be Friday night. We would just be staying.
Which I could probably do in that situation.
But you also have what 2 other games on Fridays?
Supposedly, right now, one Friday game is currently on pause because we are down to 2 players, and he does not want to proceed on without a third person at least. So that one currently is in limbo. I'm sad because I love playing that one character. He's my only lawfully evil character. No, chaotically evil. But my most of my free days are Saturday and Sunday. I personally am okay with Sunday. Maybe if we can push it an hour later myself, because I like sleeping. I don't mind something about being getting up at 4 or 5:30 in the morning on a consistent daily basis just to anticipate snow or shenanigans. It becomes a bit much. So I like being able to like sleep until 7:30, 8:30, which I did this morning. I slept until 8:40.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm still
And would you be open for Friday nights if we wound up going there?
You know what? Yes, if we did that, although if I could push for maybe a bi-weekly scenario, I mean that would mean we could probably push from like 5.
The whole reason I'm trying to do this is to make it weekly.
I'll have to definitely discuss it with my with some of the other DMs whose games are on pause.
Well, I mean, if we went that route, your Sunday would completely open up. So,
Might be
yeah, please discuss it with them and get back.
we'll do.
How about you?
I have an insane amount of flexibility, so as long as it's not from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the week, so good.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know.
Eddie?
Mostly Saturday and Sundays are open for me. Friday nights are hit or miss.
Okay.
I'm with you.
I live. You said Fridays are hit or miss. Like you can't guarantee Fridays.
I can't guarantee Friday just because of work.
So it
So
sounds
it sounds like Sunday
Sunday
is
is really the best day for all of us.
I have to end by 4:30 on Sunday because it's family.
Yes.
That being said, so you would prefer it start a little bit later.
I guess I prefer it. If I
Yeah.
still have to get up I mean, right now this is still a decent time frame. Being here by 10:30, starting at 11, still a decent time frame. While I would like to push to make it start by 12, I understand we can't.
Well, no, I mean, if we can make it weekly, I don't mind pushing it back. That also gives me and Cole more time to set up, and it's not an issue.
Yeah, if it's on Sundays, I can do a week.
Okay, so we're in agreement. 11:30 showtime, 12 o'clock start time,
Okay. That's fine.
and by about 4:30. So,
Ace is cool with it. But we're done by about 4:30. So,
yes.
so we will hit.
That will also, however, require people to stick around and help put things away.
Yes.
What? Do I not do it enough?
You do.
It's also like Tyson
I'm
and
not gonna lie. I'm looking at these two.
All right. We did try to take stuff off for you.
Yes,
I know, but sometimes like tables.
yeah. You guys will disappear, and we're still there for the next 15 minutes. Continue.
All right, fine. We gotta take stuff down.
All right. Okay. That sounds good.
I probably have
That also
more
means
arm problems.
if we're delaying it by an hour, I'm going to expect you guys to make sure.
Yes. Ace, wake up.
Hey, Tyson. If you really have to, just occasionally drop a couple of drops of water on her forehead when she's sleeping.
If
God.
you actually do that, I will murder you.
I know you would. That's what.
Oh no! See, I would be much more evil if that were the case. I would grab a spray bottle that I can hit you from your door frame, spray you a couple of times, and then take off.
Like you're an actual cat.
I don't know. That'd be more intimidating than
All right, I've got a great idea of
slide down
doing
his
that.
shoulders.
Even come near my
Okay. If anybody wants to take a couple minutes, grab some food, and that
and
sort of
water
thing,
just my
we're going to take a quick little break before we start getting into the individual stuff.
Yep.
What do you guys think about my idea of bringing back some of the older characters, like the Goblin?
This intermission.
I'm fine with it. It'd be nice.
Ace.
Okay.
Where are we starting with food now?
So, we are going to start with the individual stuff. Now, there is a portion of this that I first need to address. Who here is 100% fine, and I'm not talking to you two over here, because you guys are going to have to make changes regardless. Who here is fine with how their character is right now? Now, bear in mind, with you, you just underwent a change, so if you do not like that change, now's your chance to tell it. So, are you completely fine with the way your character is? Okay, so you're fine with the change.
I'm fine with the change.
No issues with your class or anything like that? Okay.
I love my character.
Okay.
I am a chief.
That's fine.
I will live and die as Catria, and I will see it through.
All right. Simba, you are going to have a change. We will work on it.
Changes, yeah.
We have already discussed, you are switching characters entirely.
Correct.
I'm good with mine. She doesn't need to go through the change yet. She's too young.
You already did. Flipping vampire. Moving on. And we know the changes that we're going to be making for you. Alright, so, going back, we're going to go back around the table. Since you guys are good, I'm going to skip you. And we're going to address the changes that need to be made. Have you already investigated what your subclass is going to be? What you're planning to use as your subclass? Because we're going to use this group to help you with what you're planning on doing. Because you can't be College of Adventurer.
Lore.
You want to go with lore. You're 100% on it. Have you already gone through all the different things and you're 100% sold?
I've fiddled with it. I think I have a good understanding. Simlo, going through first battle, has matured a little bit and wants to be more of a teenager. Be a little more moody.
Thanks, Mom!
I'm 54. I'm no longer being babied. So, there's some growth there.
Okay.
But I've done some adjustments. And I think it all works out.
We can work individually to make sure of that before session next week. I'm already tracking you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns,
No, he's good as is. So.
Okay, and we can talk details of how we're going to roleplay that as we go. You.
You and me have a lot of stuff to go.
Well, yes, but okay, just for context. Essentially, the Goddess of Magic is going to see his class and be like, I can make that better, and mess with his divine weapon. He's going to essentially becoming a Hexblade Warlock.
Interesting.
Now, still works as a frontliner, still works very similarly to a,
But he'll be worshipping Nyx.
well, less worshipping and more
Being told what to
Intern-
do.
internship.
Uh-huh.
We can't use the S word. Intern.
So going along that lines, because I'm going to be worshipping Nyx to get information about them, or praying to Nyx to get the information about them.
Yes.
Would that work the same way?
Kind of. You had the chance to change your subclass to worship the goddess of life, Vitania. Decided not to. That's 100% fine. You basically, when you pray to Nyx, it'll be if she's available when she wants to.
Mhm.
For him, because he is now becoming a champion of Nyx, he'll have a little higher on the priority list of communication.
So you're the one that needs to find all the factories now.
So you will be tied to a god, essentially.
Well, I'm already from this plane, so that's not exactly.
And it's kind of a natural evolution. But what I'm trying to get away from is the custom subclasses that we were trying to use. They don't work that well. I want to go with the official, and this works as a natural evolution. For the lore, also works. And it shouldn't detract from anything, honestly. You're still going to be a frontliner. You're still going to be a bard. Still going to happen. But we should be getting into where things mechanically, especially on D&D Beyond, work a little more fluid.
Like, I guess she doesn't have the same cat claws attack where it just wasn't showing up on the.
They still have the same.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully they actually show on the flipping
Yeah.
tracker this.
That is not my fault.
In
That
fact,
is
go ahead and give me a
D&D
quick
Beyond.
test roll on that if you can.
Doing that.
Glad I brought that up.
I want to see if it actually shows your cat claws.
Which is
But any other questions on that front? Anything anybody
Nope.
wants to change about their individual
Cat
character?
claws, cat claws.
all right. Look at Dean.
Hey, yeah, it works.
It shows up.
Tabaxi broken, Leon is fixed. Moving on.
That's a good
You
thing.
fixed your claws!
It magically came back to me.
Alright. So, but is there any other character, anything that anybody wants to change about their character, for any reason? Because now is your chance. Because until we get to the end of Act 2, you won't have this chance again.
There's one thing I would like to add, simply because of how Anopos plays and what he's supposed to be as a monster hunter and bounty hunter. I just like to add in the ability for him to craft other goods. So, give me.
So, what is your current leatherworking? Or I'm sorry, it wouldn't be leatherworking. What would it be?
The tool sets that I have are a dice, thieves' tools, and tinker's tools. I can add in just simply into the tools section leatherwork. It'll be just added as a proficiency, and that's all it'll have to be.
Ditch the dice set, and that's fine. The dice set, yeah, it works, but it's not anything but roleplay.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with it.
Well, the dice set comes part of the criminal spy background. It's
I
not
know.
something I can actually remove from my sheet.
I could. But not a big deal. Yeah, you can add the leatherworking, that's fine. That would be something you'd be proficient with as a leather anyway. In fact, you're probably going to become one of the go-tos when it comes to the cutting or the crafting.
I'll have to next level up rather than taking an ASI. I'll be taking skill proficiencies across the board. The skill feat.
Yeah, there is a skill. But that's 100% up to you. Anybody else? Message me individually in our little DM spot. I need to remind you what the black thing does.
Yes.
Do I owe anybody anything besides that?
So I had traded an item to Squirt to see if you could find something different for us. I had the Wand of Webs.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to make a Squirt chat box.
Yes. So I'm just saying that is something I did trade to him. I told him to find another item equivalent to this that would be useful.
Okay, I'm going to make Squirt shop.
Yes.
And you guys will have access to this and can put in what Squirt has dealt with you specifically. I somehow messed up spelling it.
I was gonna say Squirt Show.
I mean, almost works, but something not.
That's gonna be very terrible.
Yeah.
I'll put in there that.
Yeah.
I'll switch out the dice for a 3 dragon anti-set just because all my characters might as well have that.
Okay. So, anything else with individual characters that you are looking for?
Well, I still need to go through my character.
Of course. And me and you can work on that, no problem. I know what I'm going to do for the roleplay for you. You seem pretty set on what you want. And for those of you that are hard casters that have to have a set spell list, this is one of those times where you can adjust your spell list if you wish. Especially for those who are newer to the game
Yeah.
and don't know
Where
what spells
at?
do.
I've been playing a while. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
I've played many wizards in my life.
Indeed. So, anything else on the individual character front? You're pretty familiar with what you want for the Leonin?
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know.
Are you settled on your baseline too?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Nothing. And so that concludes that bit. Okay. Critiques and accolades. Who is the player of the act? Who would you like to recommend as the player that gave you a lasting impression for the first act? I'm talking about the whole thing. For those of you who are relatively new to us, you are still applicable for this. You can even, recommend somebody who's currently not here. Somebody that we had that vanished. Unfortunately, that's just the way D&D campaigns work when they're less of, not so much a one-shot and more of a running campaign.
Exactly.
It's just part of the game. So, you don't have to say it out loud. Flip it over and POTA, player of the act. And I want everybody to vote for who they think was the player of the act. I'm looking at you playing on your phone, and I'm going to throw something. Where to go? So, I want you to go ahead and, at your convenience, work on that. Now, what needs improvement? We're going to go around the table. You can say it to players. You can say it to me. What needs improvement? And we're talking about the things that weren't covered with the rest of it. What needs improvement? You're busy writing, so I'm going to start with you. We're talking about both players and characters and me. I am not scared of critiquing it. If I need to improve on something,
Yeah.
I will do it.
I need a little more time.
Okay. Ace, do you have one loaded?
Kinda.
Okay.
I guess just really playing your character. I mean, I get it. But, like, for example,
Staying in character.
yeah. As I am. Well, somebody like Tyson. Somebody who continuously has acted like the character for the whole game. Like, what? Or dumb. Or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Stay in character. That's perfect critique. What do you got?
The crafting scenes. when we do start, even suggesting about crafting, I feel like it starts to become this weird hectic combobulation of like who is getting to do what are we going to focus for, how much are we going to actually argue. I feel like there's a way to go through find that even as a discussion amongst ourselves before we start the act of cutting, because that once we start cutting, as you said, we go straight through and trying to add more complicates the cutting. And it's just, I also feel like I can't do SWAT because most of it is like intelligence based or like
Dexterity based.
yeah, and unfortunately I'm strength based for the most part, strength or con, and so
Isn't there some that do require like strength based?
Yes.
Yeah.
For example, let's say you were trying to harvest a Tarrasque and you wanted its hide. Dex isn't gonna do. Strength Dex. You guys just haven't run into a practical thing that requires strength over Dex. So I do see what you're saying, and I will see what I can do on that regard. One thing that I will suggest in that particular front is designate who is going to do what ahead of time, so that when we're going to crafting, go ahead and do your roll. You know,
Generally, the intelligence is dropping on me unless it's a wisdom based, and then we're going over there.
and there will be a few that are wisdom based. Like, for example, if you're trying to craft out of the essence of a ghost, it's not going to be intelligence.
Yeah, it's gonna be wisdom.
It's going to be wisdom.
I'm looking either way.
So I do see what you're saying. Just hasn't come up yet. That's what wrong.
no, I understand that. That's why we're bringing it
We
up.
do need to bring it up as something that can be improved upon because it is a slow process.
Yeah.
Especially considering that we are using custom crafting rules. So I highly recommend everybody be very familiar with those rules that I put out.
You posted where?
I think I put those out in the notes. If I recall correctly.
See the fear, healers, and poisoners each.
Yeah, scroll up a little bit. Harvest and craft light. Ryoko's got.
So if you right if you right click on that, you can actually pin it.
That'd be worthwhile. Into that channel.
It is pinned.
Awesome.
Okay.
I actually.
You ready?
I think it's the streaming setup. It's like it keeps getting changed around a lot. Like this one, I keep hitting the things, so I just see a better way of where to put these cameras. It's in the butt. Oh yeah.
It's a pain in the butt for me too.
I'm just
Trust me.
yeah.
If I had a way to freaking sling them off the ceilings,
Yeah.
I'd be set.
Sounds like something we need to look for on the 3D printing side
I've
of it.
been looking.
Also, maybe just as the option, we're allowed to like play from home once in a while. Like since we do have this streaming setup, we should be able to play via Discord or something similar.
I have tinkered with that quite
Mhm.
a bit. Getting Discord to run on OBS is an absolute nightmare. But more so than that, I like in person. I know it's a
But there's going to be times where we can't.
I know.
So,
Um,
especially if someone's sick, it's like we don't want to come in and get everyone else sick. So,
I understand
but
that.
we still want to be able to play because if we want consistency, we need to be able to be like, all right, we need to.
okay.
You have to give that.
Add virtual capability.
Yes.
If you talk to Stormy, she can actually guide you through how to do that because she's got a setup built around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd probably do that.
Just that's a good option. Just because then maybe like let's say we're like traveling or it's like we're stuck in like we're traveling, but it's like we're have a down day on that sun or something. We can actually be like we can hop on and still play.
Okay, but that also means that a implied task with that is if you are going to try to do virtual, you need to bring a webcam.
Nice thing is both of these laptops.
Right. But I'm just saying for everyone. It's like mine doesn't have a webcam built in.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to be able to have a webcam
Yeah.
and a
Agreed.
good stable mic.
I don't think I'd want to use this computer for it.
You're with me.
I know. I'm saying if we all do online one day,
Yeah.
I don't.
But
You have cameras. You live with the guy that has cameras.
You'd be having this hooked up to your desktop and you're playing from your desktop.
Because there's basically a camera I can borrow from Alyssa.
Yeah, there's plenty.
Yeah.
We're good. I'm referring to the people that would be wanting to play virtual.
And the nice thing is, our desktops at home, both of ours have cameras set up as well.
Yeah.
So we're
And we
actually.
can experiment with the virtual thing once in a while. and see.
Yeah, would like to have that as an option for like
And that whole
when we are traveling. It's like, and we're having a down day. It's a Sunday. It's like we can still play. There will be some Sundays where we don't have those down days though. But if we're on a down day. We have our laptops with. We can absolutely hop on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Autumn.
Oh hi. I think the only thing that I have as feedback that is important for me when I play, so I don't like get distracted, is interruptions. So like I know that when you're playing and we're role playing, like feedback and like joining in is great, but actual interruptions that pull from like that player's turn are kind of like detrimental, especially with like the time that we're concerned about with like fights and stuff. So more than crosstalk, it's like just being respectful of people when they're playing their turn and not asking questions that don't have anything to do with them.
Listen, the Grand Abolisher is on the field. My turn is my turn. If it is not your turn, you can raise a hand to bring something up, but if it's not your turn, it's not your turn. Okay?
Okay.
I completely agree with that, and I think what I'm planning to do, if A, you are not prepared for your turn, or B, you interrupt someone's turn, your turn is going to be performed using the dodge action. I feel like that's an adequate consequence for either A, interrupting someone, or B, being unprepared. Which means you lose your turn. Because if you're just dodging, that's it. And that will help incentivize people from interrupting and so on and so forth. Is everybody in agreement with that?
Agreed.
Okay, cool. Julie.
Don't have a lot of feedback that goes through with anyone in particular. Something for you, DM, is I know you've got a lot of stuff you're juggling behind the screen.
Yeah, you of all people should know.
Yeah, I know. It's why I bring this up. Notating which of your monsters, not just on screen, that has the debuffs, but if those monsters have magically disappeared off the screen, make sure that you're keeping track of what has been debuffed on them. Something has had the lesser invisibility on them. They manage to sneak off, and somebody manages, or they do an action that will interrupt that. Just paying attention and keeping in mind for your monsters what has and has not been done. Those ones. That way, if we lose the tracker, you don't lose all that information.
That is fair. That is fair. That's fair. All right. Eddie.
The only real thing that I see that could be improved on is just knowing again what you're doing, not just in combat, but during the role playing part of it as well. Because it kind of gets real scattered real quick, and everybody's going off 20 different directions. And herding cats is a hard thing to do.
It is, which is why I try to put people together by what they're trying to do,
Right.
and then go around the table. Because I hate to say this, but y'all have just, oh hey, here's this standard roleplay encounter. There goes that one. There goes that one. There goes that one. Well, crap.
But that's just generally everyone has their own interests
Of
of what's
course.
going on.
But
And
knowing what
that's
you're
why I
doing,
try to group people up.
but kind of knowing what you're doing ahead of time. Because as we get into the role playing part, I know I'm going to go off doing what priests do. I'm not going to go looking for fights. I'm not going to go looking for whatever. I already know in my head.
Well, excuse me as next gladiator for going out and for a fight.
You know, so I already know in my head what I'm going to request from the DM.
Mhm.
As far as what I'm gonna do, but
And I do my best to work around that. And that a lot of that comes down to the prep of my side. I do my best to try to not only prepare NPCs but prepare things that you guys can possibly interact with. I mean, you guys saw that a lot with the Spire. I had everything set out of what you could see, but I had to make sure that you all stayed together because there was multiple maps.
And then when we were in Little Domain, it's like I went off to go talk to the wizard.
And I think I handled that well.
You did.
But if there's something I can do better, feel free.
not so much do better, but just as an entirety, because she already knows what her character's going to be doing. I already know what my character.
Yeah.
The thing's awesome. We're doing what a thing does. I know to see what happens at that point, but just knowing kind of having a plan before we get into the role playing thing, so you're not going well. I think I'm gonna go with Patria down to. Oh no, I like what.
So maybe I kind of see what you're saying. So maybe what I should do is be like, hey, you guys will be going into a city next session. Please have planned out what you're planning to do.
Right. More like the the top of the combat round. Everybody has a
And it also
cross talk moment.
Making
and
a
then-
plan.
also helps to know if the city it does have the ability of certain things.
Right.
Not every city's gonna have a blacksmith. Not every city's gonna have.
There's a city without blacksmith. Here's the problem.
But not,
But I see what you're saying.
every city's going to have like a college of wizardry or sorcery.
Right.
Yeah. Every city is gonna be
And that
different.
comes down to prep on my side.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
And maybe in addition to that, letting us know beforehand what, like they said, what is in the city that we're able to go and aim for. Because every city's going to have a tavern, at least one.
Yes.
Partially, I agree, but partially, I like the idea of you going and having to track down a guard and be like, hey, does this place have X, Y, and Z?
Yeah, but there's also, you're going to have your core things. Okay, this is going to have your core facilities. It's going to have a tavern, it's going to have a blacksmith, it's going to have a potion shop. Okay, those three things we're guaranteed to have. What else can there be in the city? And that's something we can go out and ask about. But
Yeah.
having your core components there and letting us know beforehand
Absolutely.
would allow
With
us
the
to.
exception of small towns, yeah, you're almost always going to have this. I see what you're saying. Okay.
I know he talked about crafting. What about we missed a chance to harvest.
No, we didn't miss to have a chance to harvest that thing because the place was already coming down.
I know. I'm sad that we didn't get to try to even.
That was kind of the point for that.
I know, but
I'm
it's
not
a
gonna lie.
legendary
There is
creature.
a time enough points to be able to harvest, and if the time frame is showing that we only have so much before the thing collapses on us, it's not the right time to
I
harvest.
know.
on it.
It's just it felt like we haven't gotten to we have to harvest the one time. It
No, we
doesn't-
did a couple.
You
I
harvest
know.
a few
It
times.
doesn't really feel like there's many chances to really harvest. To try to do that
particular
craft.
encounter was a bad one. But let's say one of your quests is to hunt down a dragon. Unless the place is coming down around you, you're gonna have plenty of time.
Yeah.
But you also have to remember crafting takes time. For stronger creatures, that would have taken you 8 hours to harvest that avalanche. And guess what? You ain't got 8 hours.
The place is
That was
gonna be-
actually kind of the point. That was intentional.
No, I'm just trying to think what we could have gotten out of it.
I think nothing. We might have been able to grab a tentacle, and that's about it.
Not with the time you had. You
Well,
didn't have enough time.
no, I'm
if
saying-
you had enough time, yeah, it's all sorts of stuff you would have been able to get.
Well, we didn't have enough time to
I know. I'm just like
And it was intentional.
harvesting. I would like to see if
You
there's
want to see more harvesting.
Yes, because I thought that was pretty cool.
More harvesting and craft.
Yeah, this is me ballpark. This is me tossing this out there. If by some chance we manage to come across the ability to do gentle reposing, it would allow the corpse to remain a little bit more harvestable over 7 days. The problem is transporting that out of an area where it's about to be endangered. If you happen to say have like a bag of holding people are putting it inside or a portal hole to be able to transport it into, then we can even consider the notions of gathering the entire corpse of an aboleth that we've just gently reposed. In that whole introspect, that puts the DM in a weird bind as where is that aboleth going to be held at? How long? How much time
Horrible
frame
things, especially
are we keeping
Jesus.
track? Especially if we're going through different dimensionals. As what maybe 7 days in one plane
Actually,
won't be the same 7 days in another.
Ace brought up a great point.
What about
Squirt.
foot? what if we store it in Squid's area?
Another
Because
no.
Cole really wants to harvest stuff
I-
and do
I
all this
thought,
other
no,
stuff.
it's just I wanted to see if there's more chances where we can bring more
That's
harvest.
technically.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying
you
that.
are bringing up this one specific
I know
creature.
because I was just sad that we didn't get to try. Because I
Now,
know
let's say possibly you had thrown the aboleth into the bag of holding and then gotten out of there. Yeah, it might have been less of what you've been able to actually harvest from it, but you would have been able to harvest. That came down to you guys not thinking about it in the moment and going,
Because we were
"Well,
trying-
we gotta go.
Because we gotta we had to still open the heart. The other part of this, we had to get to save the person inside of it.
Priorities.
We have priorities. You can't prioritize something like that when you have other priorities ahead of it, and you know the place is coming down around you.
That's something that your character can bring up to the group after.
Yeah, you can actually bring that up in character and be like, hey, we missed an
You're not
opportunity here,
aware that the
guys.
sky is falling, but but Katri is.
I had that as a big example because that's like we've only done like how many harvests we did there.
Like,
We have attempted
Third
3
one.
harvests.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. It's just he brought it up a while ago, and it was just that last encounter. Yes, it was pretty rough. I want to see in the future a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what my main point was supposed to be. I just
Yeah,
thought that was one
absolutely,
thing
absolutely.
that's a big point that we didn't do. We're able to.
So now I'm going to get into a little bit of other stuff. I would like to hear what was your favorite part of Act One. We'll go around the table. Starting with Ace.
Can I mention something that I did?
Yeah, of course.
Well, making a god mad by insulting him and kissing one.
Okay. Fair.
I really enjoyed the role play towards the end, especially with like Lynn's group and like getting to actually interact with like the politics of Ravnica, which is something we didn't really get to do a lot of when we first started this campaign. So
Right.
that was great role play. There was a lot of good stuff that happened.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm torn. It's somewhere between the tournament arc because I have a bit of a fondness for tournament art. And like I was ready to be I had like short descriptions to go about each of those fights. So I was ready to be picked on for backtracking. But you went with somebody else. So, I know,
That sort of stuff. Tell me ahead of time. I would have absolutely let you have the spotlight.
I'll remember that next time. But yeah, but
Especially if you're taking detailed notes about each fight.
no, what I was liking is how we actually had a personal individual moment. It's not just me. Like when Athene went to go do her hiding, when Triolis was introspecting with the college, when Nick Sip went and started into the fray of the
It was actually hacked. I did not do that. And that's my fault.
We have
Right.
Photo evidence. We have video evidence at this point.
4K. Do that. I like those type of
Yeah.
things. It allows
I'd like to guilty for 300.
it allows more different plot hooks. It allows for complications to pop up in the middle of a fight. Because I know at some point that whole spider cult is gonna come back. You remember us in the middle of a fight? It's like, no, shit, this is a bad situation. Cover us.
Fair enough. Autumn?
I enjoyed slaughtering lots of deaf and blind things with my new family. That's my experience so far, and I made a lot of money. Making people happy, so that was cool.
Yep.
I'm enjoying the dynamics.
You should give me some money.
I enjoyed just how often a thing came in clutch.
Yeah, no crap.
Athene's two go-to moves: riding the enemy or going into the enemy.
But no, her going in and managing to stop the enemy, especially between
Hadric fight. Oh my
That
god,
hatred.
that fight.
And you guys planned that out.
The
That
three,
is good planning.
Yes.
Shows its strength.
the 3 rounds it took her to get to Hadrig to finally stab him.
We hit the 20 on it and we're. Oh, hell yeah.
Let me draw fire.
I gotta say that I really
I'm just so
enjoyed
glad you backed it
the character dynamics within everybody. Alderai and Zintrax, you know, just that closest bond, that kinship you could tell between their characters and how
I miss you
it
too.
was. You know.
Come back to
I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Coming in as somebody brand new to the group and just kind of seeing that, you could tell the bond from certain characters.
Fair enough.
I like the chaos. One of the things that I like is when Ralxus was getting pulled into the cyclonic rift where Catcher tried to
Why?
pull
Yeah.
you tried to counter.
You know, Catcher's gonna have an issue now. So Catcher's gonna be a little distant from the group because every time she gets close to people, they get stolen away. We're getting all right with the robot, stolen away. We're getting all right with Halderite. He has to be put down because he's fully converted into a monster. Zintrack has to bounce out because he can't. He's already fulfilled his thing and wants to go back home to his family. I can't take him away from that. I can't.
We're still here.
Nick's still here. Nick's still here.
Still here too.
He just evolved.
If one of you had brought up that one of the converted was a ally before the goddess literally drained every blade of black blood around her, he could have survived.
Yeah, we just need to find a scroll for resurrection.
That also works. That burned his body.
Oh.
True,
Famous
resurrection.
thing,
Oh, yeah.
Does not require a body.
She's losing so much respect as a mighty leader and warrior. I have to be more leaning on the other mighty leader and warrior. And God knows what's going to happen later on the line. If I lose you and Nixon, God knows.
Well,
I'm still getting used to Anastasia. Just met Simba, and I'm already liking her. Rollock, I have some respect for. But if it comes down to it, buddy, my back ain't going against your back. It's going against the enemy as I kill them. And then kill the enemy behind them.
Okay. So, now we start the next one. What was your least favorite part of the act?
I can say mine already.
Yeah.
They found out I was a fucking traitor. It was supposed to be a secret. I said, "Where's my book?"
We're gonna have a fight about that one later. I have to think about that. Enjoyed it a lot.
Okay.
I think, like I said, probably the fight in place when it was like dropping that fight sucked.
That was probably my least favorite too, because I was like, hey, I can break this up into chunks. Never mind.
I'm looking at you about that one.
Let me avoid. Never mind.
But I'd say that's probably my least favorite. Was that fight at Sin?
That's fair.
That was probably the worst one. You dropped like you dropped like
Lost
4
all the
times.
rages.
I ran out of rage. I ran out of haste. I was literally, I was 1 to 2 more dropped away from full on.
Yeah.
Meeting the maker, meeting the AO, and seeing
Yeah.
the aftermath.
But again, I was hacked during that fight.
But no, we
Okay.
that was definitely the worst time of the.
Lesson learned. Fortified siege position. Let's not knock on the front door.
I shoot it.
I touched the door.
Let's heed one of the 3 warnings that were given.
Well, they wanted, but they
No, they played themselves.
Glowing. Moving on.
I had 2 major marks.
Yes.
First major mark. I am a little thrown off that the main bad guy I thought was our main bad guy is not the main bad guy. So that unique switch. Once more, I'm not. That's nothing I can. That's story wise. That's something I can't control. The real mark. Personal challenges. even if it's a sparring match. Just
I feel like somebody needs to be present for when you say this. Hold on a second. Get your seat. Drink all my water, man. Okay.
three issue. Bad guy, the original bad guy, not being the full-on bad guy was my first start mark, but that's out of control. That's that's story-wise.
That is Eric.
That's narrative. Second, more pressing issue: personal challenges. If you are going to offer a spar, treat it as a spar. If you're going to offer as a duel, make sure to outline the limits of the duel. As player characters, there should not be an attempt to duel to the death. As player characters, we should at least be able to agree if we're fighting over an item and the results to a duel does not go to full death, it goes to first blood, maybe. Or to at least heavy maiming, anything that the healers can recover without overtaxing.
I can agree with that.
And lastly, can't just be in the middle or like right before a large the day before a large fight.
Yeah.
We should not be trying to overtax ourselves in such a manner.
Yes.
Sparring is one thing. Doing training is another. Training and practicing tactics for a large event is something we still need practice
Yep.
with.
Yes, I understand. That's why I'm like trying to change my character a bit so I don't try to be
And
that.
I'm not trying to say there should not be any challenges. There should not be any duels.
It is. I also know I need to change a little
There should be
bit.
more discussions. We need to find better time frames. Once, because 3 days before, all right, cool. You meet lost. You went a little heavy. I can understand it. Second day, you wanted to do seriously. Second day, day before. Are we for real? Okay. Only because I can't turn down a duel. That Mighty does not do that. So, bear that in mind. If we're going to have challenges or duels amongst ourselves, lay out those ley lines, especially if it's for as something pitiful as an artifact or an item. We should not be doing that unless compelled by the DM as though it was possessed by a spiritual being. Gods can make us compete against each other because they are gods for a reason. That's their respect.
Okay. Autumn?
What was the question?
Least favorite part of the
Okay, sorry, I was enthralled by that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say I might try a new sparring and
That.
actually set rules because of my new character.
We'll get to that.
What's up?
I don't have a good answer just because I enjoyed what I have gotten to play.
That's
I
fair.
don't have enough feedback.
Good.
There were two things. One of the things comes with character and role playing, the inability to actually act as a deceiver or deceptive. There weren't really many chances to properly deceive, even amongst the party itself. That's one of the things that I didn't particularly like, and I couldn't actually play a Thane to her full potential because of it.
Okay.
That's why 90% of her time she was sneaking off in order to make her little deals.
Now, part of that is due to the fact that we're streaming, and it's kind of imperative for the audience to know what the heck is going on. So I get that to a point.
We need to reconcile. We can't treat it as meta knowledge. Once you do say you're going off, we can cut to the scene where you two have your conversation out loud. It's just anything that we hear in that conversation going back to character.
Or you plan that, or when that's happening, you guys like kick everyone else out,
Yeah.
or
If
you guys, or if you have a separate setup where you could go like talk off on a different camera where we can't see it.
Yeah. That sounds like too much work.
Yeah.
I'll kick the rest of y'all out.
But that is actually a very good idea.
We can try that. I feel like it'll slow things down because everybody's gonna get up, get out.
Yeah.
But
Or if you guys could do it over full Discord.
The problem with full Discord is that excludes the
streaming.
streams. And once more, if it's story importance, I feel like we should once more treat it as meta knowledge.
Yeah.
let them speak it out.
Yeah, that
As
comes
a
down to
character-
player
It
capability.
is.
Yeah.
If it's an individual thing between me and Julian or me and Ace, then the rest of y'all don't freaking know. And we've called each other out on it before.
Yep.
You don't know that, you're not there. Stop. I will throw.
We're looking at you.
But that was probably one of the least favorite things I had with
That's
that one was the inability to properly deceive.
That's fair.
The
We
other-
can try the whole kicking everybody out thing. We just gotta make sure that we do it expeditiously.
Yes.
The other thing comes with when you're setting scenes or setting combat scenes, and it's things like, and yes, we had the argument already over it, going after the wings of a specific
Yeah.
or going after a specific limb. Describing how something is bound up can oftentimes change how that interaction can work. So
I could have been more descriptive and said that your wings were sticking out from the tentacles, so on and so forth, so that when I did my cold shot, it made more sense.
correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. The other thing is like if they're bound up, if Catria is bound up in her giant form, something going after one of her fingers is not as much sense.
Yeah, of course.
So
Okay. And that's a critique that I'll take. I'll take that one on the chin. I should have been more descriptive.
yeah, those are my.
I really don't have nothing either, just because I came into her.
And that's fine.
The thing that I don't like most is my inexperience.
That just comes with time.
Yeah. Can't do nothing about that.
I caused a lot of problems. Like when we went into that
hilarious.
But that's the learning thing.
Yes, it is.
And that's what brings
See,
different
You
experiences.
can do it in a funny way, like what I did.
Yeah.
You can do it in a funny
That's-
way
that's what
and
I'm
make it
trying
funny.
That's also I'm trying to find the character that, like earlier, kind of represents me.
And bear in mind, while I am giving you grief about the whole sparring thing, in character, I understand. You just got out of prison. You just got free. You're a free man, and all you know in this battle. And there's another battle over here. We're preparing for battle. All right, cool. Let's go for battle. And you forget how to hold back. That I understand.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with that. You always learn with time is that you know what your character is.
And there is a warning as we as world players know about getting too deep into a character or getting a character that's too close to your personality. It's
Yes.
very hard to draw yourself back.
Yeah.
Or not take things personally.
So
Yeah.
you have to
Be
when you're
careful about that.
you have to be careful about that, and when you're aiming to make your character, you make them just different enough that you're able to pull yourself out of the character when it comes in.
All right. Next big question. What are your hopes for the next act?
Oh. I get to have more experience.
All right. Well, I'll give you some time.
Hopefully we won't lose more players.
It's fair.
I'm gonna be honest. It's like hopefully we don't lose more players for this next act. And just said, hopefully we, as a group, find our dynamic, especially with the newer players in here. Like we find a good dynamic and a new character in here. It's like we have a good new dynamic that works for this party. Otherwise, we'll be tearing ourselves apart, like we do already. So.
That's fair.
As a character basis, I would like to see character evolve. Not just like, oh, the sword gets got
Character
stronger.
development?
Yes. I honestly am considering taking up a couple of crafting skills if possible. I'm not sure how or what methods to, but I am considering like becoming the weaponsmith for the group now. At least making alterations. Because we're coming up with animal items like claws, horns, freaking like alternate weapons from undead creatures. And to me, it'd be hilarious to be able to go, hey, you know what'd be hilarious? Give that guy a Lich's hand on his sword, so it not only slashes, it slaps. It slaps with necromantic magic. And that's the funny. No.
That's true.
Okay.
Also character development for me, and other than that, I agree with group dynamics, kind of securing like how we interact together more smoothly, and shenanigans.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always good shit.
Good.
So my hope for this next one is we stay above ground for longer than 2 hours.
We don't even know how long we've been underground.
Just saying, I'm fine with the
Several
underground.
weeks.
Yeah, we don't know
The
if it's
Twilight
several
Fire.
weeks or it's just a few days.
Okay.
Honestly.
You
But-
found me on a ship. I honestly
No, to be serious, I'm hoping to actually see more proper monster hunting, not just going into encounters, having hooks to go into actually hunting down creatures.
That's a good idea.
And hopefully, with activities in our towns, we'll be able to be like, oh, we have this problem with this monster. Then we have to go hunt it.
Okay. So seeing
So kind of like proper quests.
Proper
questing, proper questing, tasks to be granted to the group, something that can grant us renown, can grant us monetary value, but also can grant people their experience, not so much experience points, but their character growth. Say, character finally finds something that she can't slash to death.
Oh, this thing is, guys, it's living.
It's a living metal.
What I think I'd like to see or hope to see is more of the characters' backstories coming forth. Some stuff from the past making its way into
You've missed some of it.
present.
We've had quite a bit of it.
We haven't really
Not so much you,
But-
but like we've had a lot.
I wasn't a part of the whole backstory, so I never got to see all that. But
And we've fought over our backstories some too.
you know, being able to have something pop up from Furiolus's past, and he's like, "Whoa,
Well, we've already had that too.
yeah,
or something like from my past, since I'm actually from this world.
right."
True.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a throw in a little something.
Okay.
I really like everyone else's ideas. I don't know what to say.
You don't have a hope for next act?
So I'm trying to think.
Well, I'll come back to you then.
I hope I don't get slapped by that.
I agree with what Katria and whatever your character's name is.
Autumn?
So,
Yeah, we'll call you Autumn. I agree with character development, and especially like during, not exactly character development, but during combat, knowing what I'm going to do, like knowing the best way to do the most damage during combat.
That comes down to practice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but also
you actually
you can practice.
reading
Yeah,
something
practice
other than
comes
yourself.
with more experience. And experience comes with more games.
Yes. I got
So
I got you.
Then it goes counterintuitive to the whole longer combat.
So I just had another idea of something that we could improve upon. Something that would be kind of cool is some kind of environmental effect. Like, what if on occasion there's a sudden
Oh, you
earthquake?
have no idea what I
We're already had wild magic.
You had your wild magic.
No, but that's something that would have affected anyone who rolled a 1 that casts a spell.
I know. It's just
And guess
Well,
what?
you-
You're about to become a half-caster.
Yes, you're gonna about ready
But
to have
yes, I do see what you're saying. More environmental stuff. That's kind of why I was leaning on that final encounter that the lava was coming. I get what you're saying with that, and trust me, I got some plans.
But I do hope that this character will at least feel a little bit more comfortable, where I either one thing be a little bit more useful to the party, but I actually can express myself with it a little bit more. Because honestly, fighters, smack, boom, thing dies, can't really interact with other people. I'm actually getting intelligence somewhat.
I mean, if you went camping, or battle master even.
I hope we can finally fight stuff that isn't resistant against necrotic.
All right. So
And we're gonna still.
It's why they didn't use the other half.
I was gonna say you don't have your parts. Yeah, you couldn't use them because they were useful.
Yeah, they were resistant against it, and the max she could do was 6 damage.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I definitely do agree that I hope that we can get more equipment that definitely fit us. Like each character has like a nice equipment.
We've been, like I said, the equipment stuff has gotten better. But like I said, we're
It's a little
working on,
late.
we're working on the money side.
Yeah, the money side has been real.
We've actually had a good opportunity. Like the cube is fantastic for a wizard. It's amazing.
Cube's fantastic for any caster.
Any caster. Like even you would want that damn cube. You would get it. I paid for that one. I helped pay for that one.
Man, I'm just saying about it.
I don't
have
make
to
sure
save
that
a
I never owned the
good stuff,
same
right?
money at the end of it. I was like, I helped make sure I paid my share of that one.
Even though the
So
ghost
the
thing
thing is, I don't owe a thing shit.
really be
You would never get that money
You
back.
actually might not any longer be proficient with that plate mail.
As a warlock, no. Warlocks
Even
are
hex
like
plates, they get.
they get medium equipment, I believe, but not heavy.
So you may have to chip that off of you.
and the shields too.
No, you still have proficiency.
The shield is good.
Well, with that specific weapon, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What I'm using that's still usable with the shield?
No,
Yeah.
you'll have to figure out how to get that off you too. But anyway,
Am I going to be displaying your
and
curses?
real quick,
Probably.
At
least
for
the
you
one.
specifically, you're not going to know how to do 9 out of 10 of the warlocky things that you're supposed to be able to do. You won't know how to cast Eldritch. You won't know how to cast Hex. That is going to have to be stuff that you stumble upon, so it is going to become a role-playing aspect for you.
I'm gonna need.
Now, the question is, once I realize he's changed, will I do it?
You'll be able to help him once you realize what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
But not until then.
Oh gosh, if the armor's still on me and I change, what am I gonna be like?
You're no longer proficient with it.
I know,
You can
but
still use it.
You can still use it, you're just not proficient, meaning you don't get as high of an AC from it. Anyway. So, what else needs to be brought up for this ReZero? I've gone over all the topics that I personally had laid out. I will collect up if you could pass down your sheet, please.
I guess I, as a character and players, could probably point out that as you're getting more distance when newer and newer characters are presented, interactions might become a bit strained. And if you guys come up with new characters like down the line, you all may have to make an effort to try to reach out to the Goliath Barbarian, who slowly seems to be becoming colder, quieter.
Minus the few that are still here.
Yes.
You have proficiency in medium armor, shields, and martial weapons.
well, it's because of the specific weapon that I'm gonna be using that I won't really be able to use the shield.
Two-handed?
Is it? DM?
Who's this? I have a feeling it's false.
I didn't really fill it out because I thought.
Oh shit! I did not put my name on that page.
No, but I know which one's yours.
Okay.
I didn't put much on my page.
Can you? I think that's false. Can you hear me?
Because we talked about a lot of them, I didn't put anything
Did I
on
do
a
something
lot of
wrong?
the writing out the
Yeah, you didn't
stuff.
put any lines or say, "Oh,
We
for
talked
the
about
player
it.
of the act" on the back.
Right.
They are on the back, the very top,
I can't see either. I think it's super faint.
They're
Yeah, they are
super
super
pencil.
and then the person is right there in
Okay.
between the text.
Listen, it looked blank. Well, it wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be on the bottom. Okay.
I put
And
mine
you see
on.
the top corner.
Yep. Got it.
I mean,
All right.
I was looking at it. We have about 2 hours still.
I know. Well, I have to go through this and make sure that I understand all the lines of fails, which is what I'm planning on doing next. But I wanted to open the floor for anything that anybody else wanted to show.
Honestly, I just have to actually try to do my character in the
so
actual roleplay so I know what I'm doing.
I'm assuming we're gonna get some time before we head up to the surface, right?
Yeah.
So that means that we will have time to figure out what the hell happened there.
Right.
And if I have to dispel armor so I can give free of it.
Well,
Your cleric's gonna have to do it because they're the only ones remove curse.
You're it. But I know for a fact I will be, prior to going, be sending stuff off to doing the sending to multiple different people.
Like, well, we need to look for a map. We haven't already gone one.
I gave you guys one in box text. It's a sketch.
Yep.
Sorry, that's the best I got right now.
Yeah. Once we get I swear we had a world one.
You didn't have a world one. You had one specifically of Olympia. It showed like a general area around it, but it was mainly just Olympia. And that country. Trust me, I know which commissions I have given to my guard. That's kind of why I was curious to know which direction you guys wanted to go once you get to the surface, so that I can have her start drawing it up. Because there's multiple areas. There's the first mix. There's the scaled spine, mountain range. There's the human lands. There's all sorts of places for you guys.
I think
to go.
what we'd find out is where would be the best battle place to start fighting because that's gonna be chasing us when we get up there. So
Depending on where we spawn at. I mean, if we spawn here at the south underneath the
Yeah.
Elder.
Well, no, you
Waters-
guys are going to be going back to Olympia.
oh shit.
Here's the thing. Once, and I will go ahead and freely spoil this. Once it's found out that the Red Death is coming for you, you're getting kicked the ass. Because he wants nothing with that.
So we need to find so straight from Olympia we need to find the fastest,
And honestly, if
the best battleground we can because that's the first thing we're fighting when we get up there.
how populated is the realm of frost?
That's a good question.
Keeping the box gonna be half the challenge.
Anything that hampers something that can cross the
We
cross
had a wall of
places.
fire now.
Yeah.
Stick around us.
I'm okay with the cold. I
Yeah.
mean, not out there.
I'm fine with the heat, but that's because of Valduke.
It walks the same speed as Michael Myers. Or Jason.
Oh my god, we were so in
It
trouble.
walks with the same speed as Michael Myers or Jason.
So it moves at the speed of plot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of plot, I love
Speed
it.
of plot is about right.
And there's something more terrifying than the speed of plot because 1 second, yes, we've got it's on the other side of the mountain range. We're fine.
Why be by that tree?
Take a few steps and bam, right there staring at us.
Oh,
Y'all
wow.
forgot something?
So, I would.
Did you forget about little old me?
Like, we may have enough time to get out of Olympia. There may not be enough time to get the Red Death out of Olympia once it gets there.
Yeah.
Giant, or no, it's not that big.
It's a lich. It's another lich.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I phrase this?
So,
It is terrifying. It is sick, and it takes out dinos for lunch.
While they're alive.
Oh, that's the worst part. It was while I was alive.
all right. Well, I think that's going to be our goal. It's gonna once we have whoever Nix brings to us, and we will get to know them as well during that time before they get the portal bit going.
Listen, as soon as we get up, if we're near any civilization, I want out of there.
We're gonna. Well, if we get straight to Olympia, we're getting the fuck out of there ASAP to get us free of taking the Red Death straight to him.
Yeah. Apologies. Thank you very much. Here's your reward. Bye.
Punch of Polyados.
Apollotosis is also probably gonna be pissed because it's like, no, about the jam bit boulders.
What did I tell you to do? What was the one thing?
It was already petrified though.
Still not dead. Again.
To our knowledge, it was already dead. Sorry.
We
Dead,
didn't have to.
petrified.
We answered the question.
We were like three. Like we got three.
Yeah,
You
you
missed that a little bit. There was riddles that they had to do in order to not fight things.
I was ready to fight.
We got him.
You know how
And every time they said the wrong answer, they got petrified.
The person who said
No, I
that,
thought
like, I got that.
They got,
Oh yeah, correct answer.
Not fair.
so it made our group.
It made it
smaller.
where you couldn't have one person answer all the questions.
Okay. Then that is fair.
Of course, it'd be sick for a one-person party going up in there.
Mhm.
You are hereby challenged. Answer these riddle 4.
Days to have friends.
No, it's this. Oh crap! I don't have enough anti-petrification.
How do you take anti-petrification before you get petrified if you don't know you're gonna get petrified?
Yeah, good question. But yeah. So,
Well,
anything else you guys would like to discuss?
I just want like to. I honestly, I'm gonna move to finish this character and want to actually like start the roleplay so actually like the character can know what they're doing.
Next week.
Oh,
Next week.
so,
yeah, that's still 2 hours.
as a warning, we're flying back. Our flight is delayed, I'll let you know.
Yeah. With the delayed time frame, that should actually help.
Wait, how soon is this happening?
So our flight lands at 9:55 a.m. and at the Tower
Next
Airport
Okay,
next week.
thanks.
Yeah, we're flying back from Dallas from Nationals. So
I do have one thing to say before, like,
What?
if you and me do get a chance, I'd like Julian's help on my character.
Yeah, that's fine. Are you familiar with Warlock?
Yeah.
So you know the good invocations versus the bad ones.
Yeah, effectively. It depends on how you want to fight, but
I don't want.
Okay, so I'm gonna
You-
go through this. I do wish that y'all had put your names on here only because I need to make sure to go through this properly. So for Vales, who had all the clouds? Okay, that's you. Vales, vivid descriptions of violence and torture. I understand that completely. That's not a problem. I cannot guarantee that there will be nothing sad. That one is not.
If you're not feeling in a Dungeons and Dragons sessions, are you truly playing a Dungeons and Dragons session?
I said no crying in D&D for staff.
Who's this one that wrote so many notes that it's crazy?
Oh, that looks like mine.
That's yours?
Yes.
Okay. Fails. That's fine.
Like I didn't say mine out.
Okay.
Yeah, well, some certain ones you don't want to say.
No, of course.
Okay.
I do 2 of these.
I do have a question about one of your lines. if you want.
I don't think it's spell
And you can tell if you
Yeah.
don't have a lot
You
of
only
it,
have
it's
two
like,
problems.
you
You're
replay
reading
it enough, sure, like, it's like, it doesn't matter.
you're a cat.
Yeah.
Primarily.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good.
Are you on my
And that
character
goes for
sheet?
my-
No. I don't know warlocks.
I put that one down.
That might be
And that's reasonable.
I'm not going
Hey,
to
it's
Of course. Of course.
But they get brainwashed.
I've been through so many games in my life that it's like ridiculously crazy. I did a LARP for 20 years.
Okay. I just want to make sure I understood that part.
Same one.
Same LARP, 20 years of my life.
Oh,
I was there when I was in charge of it when we had to finally.
okay. I don't know who this is. Wrote almost nothing.
Me.
Come here.
Oh no, it's one of us too. So
No, that's fine.
That one's yours?
Yeah.
Okay. That one's pretty.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I have very little that I worry about, and that's the one.
Okay, this is Ace.
No, there is.
How'd you know?
Okay, just make sure. Wait, who is this?
let's read the back.
Okay, we've talked about it.
Yes. Mine is very straightforward. I have very
Makes
few
sense.
things.
Makes sense.
Like I said, you and I are the same in that one. We've been through way too many games of anything.
What are you talking about? I'm a DM.
Yes.
I paused those things.
Yes.
I know this is you.
Yeah, you DM'd, I've DM'd too. Like I said, I have been through a bunch of DM sessions. I used to run along. I've done that.
Don't worry, you only had to share a body for a little bit.
It's still a dark experience. 4 days inside a centaur's body. Yeah. We would give him a couple.
Oh boy!
Okay.
It's worse.
So-
I realized I'm playing a Goliath monk thief combination. Try to play it as close as house as I can to the sheriff. And it's gonna be a
Oh my god.
He was trying to play a gunslinger as a monk rogue.
You know how funny it is? My main focus is I punch you, stun, cuff, down. Alright, you're arrested. Who wants the next guy? That's the
I
main,
love it. I
that's
love
the
it.
main idea. In practice, it's still a little
Potato
more.
fries.
Joy.
There's not much potato fries left. Does anyone else want some?
You got clearance.
Enjoy.
Alright.
Go right.
You're all set.
Potato.
You're fine.
My dad wants the boneless chicken, so I can't have any more of that.
Okay.
Fine. You can have it.
Now,
There's not much
for
left.
the player of the act,
That's fun.
we had one vote for Autumn. We had one vote for Zindrak. We had one vote for Catherine. We had 2 votes for Ace. And we had 3 votes for Julia.
That sneaky little fairy was all over the place.
Congratulations for being player of the act. There is a reward tied to this that you will find out later.
Later.
What? No one voted for me.
No.
Everyone
You
voted.
have a little bit of an
Why no one
experience.
voted
I know, but it's
I didn't expect they would vote for me. So.
Yeah, overall, we've got
Oh, I know. I'm not the asshole. Good point.
There's a reason why we have declared a Thane doing a Thane's thing.
Yeah.
So that is part of it. And then
Oh, and you freaking burglar. We're gonna have to sand your nameplate and put the new one on.
Yeah.
We will do the sanding, but you're coming in early to do your nameplate.
It's been a while since I've done that.
We will lay out the tools. Anyway. So, we all have pretty much ironed out everything that I wanted to go over specifically. Trying to think of what else there was. So, expectations. I think we've ironed out what that looks like. You guys will be in a non-combat scenario. Probably the next session, possibly the one following it, depending upon how things go. So be prepared for what you want to do during that time. Questions of me, or questions of anyone else?
Do you know gentle repose?
He can.
I could.
It's your Gentle Repose is a level 2 spell, if I remember correctly, and you can grab it from your spell
Yeah, I
list.
think so.
It'd be something to consider given our conversation about the whole
I'll have to
harvest.
look at my spell list again.
Did we decide where we're going after leaving Olympus?
Not yet.
I believe I'm the only one who put out the vote for the Realm of Frost, but that's meta knowledge. In character, I
I'm
have
dark. I'm
And it's
okay
something
with
we will
something
end up
dark.
discussing as characters.
Yeah, that will become a point of discussion. I will tell you now that we're likely to use the map of the area around Olympus for a
that's part of
little
your
bit yet.
stuff.
until you guys decide.
No, if
on
you didn't
the
have
next-
that, please
Make
put that in the chat or something.
What are your spells?
Map around this.
Sure, I can do that right now.
That would be appreciated because that is one I know you had, and I would like to have that because I do remember him giving me one of those.
What kind of bard are you? Officially now?
I changed to lore college.
College of Lore.
College of Lore. So I have cutting words, and I also have 2 spells that I was able to add to my repertoire, which means I kept Eldritch Blast and I added Infestation.
Nice.
That's the main change for that.
So
This
you'll
is
have to look your spells a little bit closer because spells that
Are
we
you
have spells
experienced with Warlock?
Right.
Not Warlock. Warlock was actually when they added.
I picked ones
I
that
never
I
played
think
4th
will be
edition.
flexible and
I completely skipped that because I thought 4th edition was
like
a
with the
bit.
thought of not trying to
So-
change
Until
Someone's
you
in
have
that
Warlock.
No,
No?
no, I completely skipped that edition. Yeah.
I know.
5th edition is so much
Okay.
better, and so I never played Warlocks. So
Bards are.
What's your
I mean, if you don't
general,
already
like,
have
what,
Dissonant
how
Whispers,
you
may
heard
I
of it?
suggest-
What do you think?
Spells at 7. Yeah.
I don't like the limitation on the spell list, and that's why I'm always going to be a wizard. Sorcerer would be my next choice if I was
I
creating our
don't think I have any
Warlock, but I have
level
considered
4 spells
kind of the
actually.
interesting stuff.
It is in box text.
Yes, thank you.
Also, you will notice that the Great Breach was added.
Great reach. Oh, yeah.
I think antagonized instead of dissonant.
Yes, because I do have this, so I can
what's
use this
the
if I need to do the
It's similar. When I read it, they were similar.
I think it's interesting how you have
reason why
you
I
basically
suggested
have
was
like
me from past experience playing
like
the bard.
a
One of the few
you're
you don't have to
you're a
actually
mentor
be
or
in
you have a
the
mentor kind of,
Yeah.
and it's like you have
One of the few
you have a
that doesn't
connection
require
with that
mind
mentor
sword.
that's like kind of
Antagonize.
Which is the
Does not
god.
require you to see the creature.
So, so that's the other thing I found.
one creature,
not
your
choice like
choice.
you a patron to do
Okay,
this.
that's actually good.
Like I said,
Good.
I'm
And it's 4D.
I'm an old school spellcaster.
It's so it's just
second
higher level
edition
spell.
wizard,
Uh,
third edition
when
wizard,
did-
sorcerer.
When did
all-
Artists are
What?
That's why I haven't seen that yet.
I think that was in
I'm,
fifth edition, fourth
we're
edition.
Like, what, level
Oh,
20
fourth
or
edition?
Yeah, they never had artificer until
Yeah, you guys are
Yeah,
level
it's
5
relatively
or right now.
I was gonna say fourth edition had to be when they put
my
it in
other bard's
because
still
it was
level.
it was
It's a fifth edition.
it's
Okay.
it's not fifth
I'm
edition.
gonna do the best for
But
that next.
art,
Thank you.
I was gonna say
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
The
thought it
original
looked really
classes
good, and then I
were
saw
fighter,
antagonized,
monk,
and I had to decide
wizard,
which level I wanted.
fiend,
So,
barbarian,
what antagonize does is if they
cleric.
fail to save,
and then that was
they
it
have to make
for
melee
fourth
attacks
for
against
second
the
edition.
creature you can
Third
see.
edition as sorcerer, which was new.
Melee attack though.
Um,
But it has, so it
they
has to be within 5
And then
to 10
they
feet
had more
for
books
movement.
that added more
Okay.
classes after
Yeah.
that.
Like, I'm interested in the
Does it allow,
kaiju.
does it allow them to
Like, the one he.
But that's always been your style. You love
No, but if they
I know,
can, they can attack
But
the
then you-
at disadvantage on the next attack.
No.
Or.
You'd be
Okay.
fighting.
So it's an either or. They
Oh.
can make the attack or make
You're
their
only ever going to be
attack
enemies.
The Great
Again,
Breach.
I do.
force the
I do.
target to hit one of its allies?
You're thinking there's going to be like kaiju would be a
Or like a-
class
or
something,
a
there's
race.
else.
That's
No.
a monster.
A new race, maybe, but even then,
Like,
I
that
doubt
goes within that kind of class, like, or that book.
It's a monster type.
I know, but in that book, would there
It's
be a
gonna be
specific
enemies.
race
The other
that's like
thing is
good
they use
against
the
like
reaction to
fighting
make the
them?
attack.
Woodward up there.
The entire point of something like a kaiju is so that the entire party fights one thing. And it's huge. You're fighting Gajira! But it's not Gajira because it's copyright. Gajira!
Who's the running into Gajira?
Is the Great Breach like where all the water is to go underneath to go into
The
the?
Great Breach is that giant chasm that you got. So there's two parts, right? There's the part of the Great Breach that goes down to the Black Lock, and then there's the part of the Great Breach that goes from the Black Lock down to the Obsidian Fortress.
Yeah, that on the map it looks a lot bigger than what I thought it would be.
Yeah,
Things
that
are-
is the artist's choice. Wasn't exactly what I thought about it.
It also depends on how far depth the actual pool is. The
500 meters.
So,
going into the hole that goes down into the other area, right?
my
Yeah,
estimate
500 meters.
is
Uh,
about
No.
which towns have been destroyed.
500 meters across, and then a block down.
It could be that just the whirlpool is just huge.
I have a picture that I can refer to. I don't have it.
I'm just saying that depending that the size of the whirlpool itself should not be indicative of the size of the hole.
Correct.
So we shouldn't be too worried that there is a god-sized fist hole.
Yeah.
going through there when
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
just-
maybe
I
I'll
just
buy
imagine the black. I'm just imagining the black is a giant like whirlpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it like the Percy Jackson one from the movie where it has all the teeth.
Is where the Red Death has done its destruction so far up around.
Yeah, that'll be part of the investigation once you get started.
Yeah.
Especially since we're popping up here through the Great Breach.
No, we'll probably
Theory.
we're going straight to Olympus, which is on top of that.
I'll be in theory. We've been messing around the Great Breach, so there should be a lot. We should.
Yeah, so I'm guessing the Red Death is on that island because we got a report from someone, I don't remember who, saying that the Great Breach is like going in a circle because there's not like the
The Red Death is going.
Red Death.
Red Death, Red Death.
The Great Breach is moving.
Oh my god, that'd be terrifying.
Well, now we know the
So-
world is sentient.
So you are standing on a myth.
Zendikar is a living planet.
The world made of mimics, so everybody is a mimic in addition.
I'm so mad.
Actually, there was something that I found online which was like called a mimic knight.
Yeah,
It was a really interesting idea.
But yeah, let's not play with the thought that he can just make the Green Lantern planet Eos, right? Yeah, let's not turn that into a minute too.
So you know what I could do? I know about the Red Death. I could use the top to look for the Red Death during this time. And see if I can find it. Or say on this part of the map.
Yeah.
If it goes off of it, we know it's somewhere else.
My guess is on that little island next to the Great Breach.
I don't think so.
Guess we'll only get
I'm gonna take the advantage of having
Yeah.
this. I will do it multiple times so I can DC hit.
So what is there anything else you have to ask us?
No. I love what we're strategizing about this. This life.
let's see here.
Oh.
The crater where a lot of people land for the
No, they hit all over the place.
I don't remember what that was.
I can also look for the one that we still haven't found.
There's the cobalt.
Cobalt we didn't find.
Last known position.
Human areas. And then there was the goblin. I wonder where she went.
Yeah.
She was a powerful goblin when we met her. The final
The
boss.
final boss. I love it.
So, it was no.
Yep.
It was Halderai. He was getting beamed by arrows by this goblin who was just hiding in the darkness, and he was not able to find her at all.
So we nicknamed her the final boss.
Early, like the very first fight, we going into.
Befriending the final boss.
Yes, we did end up befriending her.
Yeah,
Lovely.
It was great.
but then a sleep demon was making her not sleep, and so she left us. I went to see if Gabo made it.
we could look. We have maps of
You have something.
exactly what
Go
you
look
think
for
I can
her.
do.
Go look for her.
So, I don't have anything further on my end. I know what needs to be prepared for next session. Like I said, we're going to be dealing with some non-combat. So please be prepared for what you wish your characters to do.
Mm.
We are setting our start time, show time, 11:30 sharp. Start time, 12 o'clock sharp.
We may, like I said, we may just come straight over here from the airport, so we might be here early.
That's early is fine.
Yeah.
Late is not. Since we are backing it an hour to allow certain people to get more rest. And
This is coming up weekend's Easter though, right? We doing it on Easter?
That'd be Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
It is Easter Sunday.
and as a religious holiday, I feel like we should probably postpone game on.
You guys
That's fine.
don't mind.
Unless
No, I
everyone
understand.
here wants to do it.
I don't do anything on Easter. So
That might be.
that's up to you then. It's up to everyone else.
You're visiting family for
If you guys don't mind, because
Yeah. Okay.
Especially if you got little kids.
On
Easter's very.
So then, absolutely. Then.
So
we
2 weeks time, and then we'll switch over to the new schedule
Yes.
effectively.
That
Try to.
But that gives everybody time. Like, if you have any questions about College of Lore, feel free to drop it into the Discord. Ask Julian, ask Tyson, ask himself.
Yep.
Tell me about my birthday
Just
next
about.
time.
Just about.
Yeah.
Hey, birthday fights.
Birthday roleplay.
You squared away with your character.
Yeah, I need to do those invitations.
There's one on the desk upstairs for the one that's here. Need that.
No. Well, there's the one, but also on my birthday, we're inviting people to Magic.
Yeah, but that's an event all today.
Yeah.
So the weekend of the 13th of April
Okay.
will be Cole's birthday. We decide to do. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
I'm probably gonna be.
I'm up for it. I was gonna say if we have next weekend, Ace's birthday is on Saturday.
Next weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes 4 players that have had a birthday since we started this shindig.
Yep.
So that's all right.
As far as this little graduation thing, if anybody else wants to come, they're more than welcome to. I can post the invitation to Discord. It's not mandatory by any means. But Cole and Alyssa are graduating.
Nice. From middle school.
I'm almost 8. I'm almost 19, and you say,
Oh, yeah, you still look 14 to me.
He acts it too.
guys,
What?
at school.
14?
How old is that? How old you're turning?
No, I'm turning 15.
Okay.
At school, people thought I was a junior. Like I wouldn't.
Senior or something.
But moving on.
I know. And people were like, "Wait, you're a senior?"
Now,
Yeah.
one of the things that I did want to bring up, there's a couple more small things. Character deck. Nobody is completely averse to character deck, correct?
Capture dice, but
If it happens, it happens. Just don't
It's
get
a part
bullied.
of roleplay, but some people get very, very attached to their character.
Yep.
well, I could say it.
Maybe a specific cat.
I love my character, guys.
All
But
the
if they die, they die. Anyway. That was one thing I wanted to bring
As
up.
long as it's
because
not,
it is
as long as it's not cheap debts, that's the problem.
well, yeah.
That's what I
But-
said. Just don't be a bully.
As long as it's not cheap debts or targeted takedown,
Yeah,
that's when the
yeah. Targeted takedowns.
PvP is a different matter. I will say that, I mean, some things are going to be targeted just because logically that's what would happen.
yes.
They targeted the cleric that dealt double damage to them
I don't know
because
why.
that sucked.
I don't know why.
and they let and the scout left. I tried to go for it,
Oh,
but
my boy Eddie.
The rolls were not in your favor.
Third
And
of all, being
there-
nice.
that's a classic example of a action having a consequence. The scout got away, they had intel. It is what it is. So what else was there?
Honestly, Scott didn't even have to get away. He already knew.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, and the because the acting hive mind creature, which was the Valhalla, has a range of
It was 500 miles.
500 miles. Yeah, that could have got real bad real fast.
yep.
I will say that I'm very proud that you did not reenact the event that occurred at Sin's Castle. And you actually, instead of just, all right, we're going straight into the cave. Okay. You would have been fighting hundreds.
What can I say? Nixon can use a brain once.
Once.
Once every 2 years.
Well, I mean, you did evolve into a Leonin, so maybe,
You might have a couple more.
Once
I don't have a plus 0.
She might still have a couple more
You
brain
don't
cells.
once a year now.
Oh, I think you have maybe at least a
Oh
couple
my
more
gosh.
brain cells.
On her birthday, hey, I got an
No,
idea.
but we did the good sneaking around of it, so that's
Yeah. So, I don't have anything further. We can conclude if you'd all like. And have a nice early day. No second for Easter weekend. And that is due mostly because we are doing this on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because that works out best for everyone.
Still can't believe it falls right before April Fool's Day. That's still throwing me off for a loop.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm supposed to have a Donza on April 1st, and I'm like, this is real?
Will it be safe?
Oh,
And
one thing I did want to discuss. I understand the tripods are a pain. I get it. Trust me, I'm trying to work. But do you guys like this current setup? I know you guys are a little further apart.
My only problem is I will kick them further out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because you're legit laying down in your chair.
Not then push the little button in the back, then it keeps you upright.
Well,
I'll be
something
comfortable.
for April Fools. One of my online friends, one of their friends, like they're wanting Helldivers. So on April 1st, they're gonna say, "Hey, I gifted you Helldivers." April Fools.
I didn't know.
That's
No, I
me.
mean, you can send them a gift. Send them
Send
a
the first Helldiver.
Yeah.
The first Helldivers
one.
Helldivers one.
That would be a fun gift.
Exactly.
But yes. I think that's about it.
All right.
I just would like a little bit of help with my character.
Of course, yeah. We're not departing.
It's just ending set.
Yeah, just kind of
Ending
ending
stream.
0. We will be ending the stream. Sorry, Lizard. But if there's anything else that anybody wants to bring up, now's the time. All right. Well, with that being said, thank you for joining us, all of 2 viewers. I don't think it's going to make it to YouTube, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'll figure it out. Meet us next time for Act 2, the beginning of Act 2 for Echoes of the Infinite. Until then, we're signing off.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.